I thought that fit his character.
I'm talking about the comics.
Oh, the comics.
No,
Okay.
He dies the same way as Denise.
He died as a cheating asshole.
And the only reason Robert Kirkman created Dwight was to be
Because of
Daryl Dixon.
Because of the popularity of Daryl Dixon.
And that's a fact. He confirmed it too on if you read the fucking letter page.
Yeah. What's up, guys? It's Over His Gamer. We're back to another live stream. We got your man, Mr. Heisenberg, and your man, Deadwalker.
The fucker over there, too.
Mr. Heisenberg. Yep. Mr. Heisenberg.
Mr. Bitches, if you want to, go.
That's the Heisen bitch. And fucker.
The Heisen bitch, yeah.
Dead fucker. Said, no, it's alright. I'll do that to him on
shit.
text.
That's
Yeah, what's up, dead fucker?
What's up, Heisenberg? Wait, what's race then?
Ray's bitch, I guess.
Oh.
I guess if you want to go there.
Raised pussy? Pussy raised?
No.
Over retard?
No.
I don't know.
That's kind of funny, too.
I don't know.
Funny, but not accurate.
Yeah, I don't know.
It don't have to be accurate. It don't have to be accurate.
Well, no, because yours, both of yours actually fit. You know what I mean? For what you're going with. Mine, that doesn't fit.
Yeah.
That's just...
And then you get one. No,
I'm not
if I
that
come up with
stupid.
one for Walker Dead Fetus,
Yeah.
I got a really funny one.
What?
Walker Dead Penis. He kind of fits too. See, we're just going with weird nicknames. Dan, I'm not doing that because his name.
What about Epic?
Epic killer.
Epic Sperm Killer?
I don't know.
Because he kills all fucking. He has no sperm in there.
Damn. That's a crazy one.
I mean, what lady would ever find him a fucking attractive?
I don't even know how the hell he got that freaking Dodge Charger. That doesn't make any sense.
No, it's like Hellcat.
Or
Fucking
Hellcat. Sorry,
Hellcat.
my bad. Hellcat.
That's better than a, what was it, a Dodge Charger?
It was a fucking Hellcat. He had a fucking. He even showed it off.
Hellcat.
It's legitimately a fucking Hellcat.
A Hellcat is better than a fucking Dodge Charger.
Yeah, it is.
Sorry, I googled up the names.
No, I mean, more than just his looks. You have a fucking conversation with him in 5 minutes, a lady's like, I'm getting the fuck away from this fucking weirdo. And he gets pissed at Dan reviews because fucking Brian kicks him off the stream and Dan was on. I can't quit laughing about that, though. Calls Dan evil because Brian kicked him off of the Dan stream.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what happens when you fucking... So I'm happy I'm off Brian's server.
So...
Yeah, I'm still on it, but I don't...
Epic would
I don't
say
really pay attention
the
to it.
dumbest shit on there.
I don't really
cuss, he would spam. If you spammed on Brian's server, you'd get banned.
Yeah, I'm still cool with Brian. I still talk to him all the time.
Except if you were Epic.
Here and there.
Me and him kind of have the same opinion about the current state of The Walking Dead. But, yeah, he doesn't...
I mean, what big franchise is still fucking kicking?
None.
That's big.
None. The thing that bothers me about The Walking Dead nowadays is that I feel like that when The Walking Dead finally does end, everybody's just gonna remember this franchise that, got a big load and started just spewing out all this mid crap, and that's all it's gonna be remembered for is all these unnecessary spinoffs. Versus the good times when it was the most popular show on television. That's my biggest gripe with it is that I feel like that's how The Walking Dead universe is gonna be remembered now is because of what's going on right now. You know what I'm saying?
That's up to the interpretation.
No, The Walking Dead, when people think of The Walking Dead, overall, I think people are going to think positively. But we're not thinking of the new shit. We're all thinking of the old shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just feel like with how things are going now, I just feel like everybody that I talk to now that used to watch The Walking Dead, all they talk to me about is they say, yeah, I mean, it used to be great, but the thing that bothers me is just how they started just putting out all these random spinoffs that just were not interesting. And so I feel like, whenever it's all said and done, that might be all that people remembers. It's just that, it was this...
Some might. I think it's going to be mixed. Some might,
Yeah.
some will. I mean, it's whatever.
Yeah.
It is what it is.
But the thing that really bothers me about really these spinoffs is that because the whole purpose of like the savior group was that because this is why I say about how and it goes into like my whole idea that Robert Kirkman perfectly crafted the ending of The Walking Dead because the whole purpose of the saviors to begin with was that they were the ultimate version of raiders. Like they were raiders to the max. Like they weren't just like your. We saw like a lot of raider groups throughout the majority of the comics and everything. Scavengers, raiders, so on and so forth. Takers, but the saviors were basically that to the max. They were an empire. They were, basically the worst kind of raiders that the world could have spat out. And so that's kind of
there was no other raiders after.
Yeah, exactly. And so once you hit that point with Negan and the Saviors, that was kind of like this is like that whole concept, that whole idea of a villainous group to the max. Once you hit that point, you can't really use that idea ever again.
And
Because
in the comics, after that was a group. There was no raiders. The Whisperers.
yeah, the Whisperers.
That are not the raiders. They're not raiders. They're fucking kill everybody.
Yeah, and then the Commonwealth.
Commonwealth.
So that's why I don't like that you have these groups in these spin-offs like the Power of the Living or the Barazzi because all they are to me is another savior group with a little twist on them.
But Barazzi is the fucking saviors.
Yeah.
It's a different name.
Well, no, they're the saviors that make fuel with walkers, and then the Power of the Living are just a savior group that experiments on walkers. And when you actually think about it, that's exactly what it is.
I disagree with you on the Daryl one. They're the fucking Commonwealth.
Yeah.
Power of the People is closer to Commonwealth
Yeah.
than Saviors. They want to take over, like the Commonwealth.
Yeah.
Right.
But the Commonwealth should have been your ultimate.
What's up, Luke?
Ultimate.
Welcome.
Other than.
Yeah, we do got the friend group here. Yes.
Other than. I would have made an exception. And here's another thing fucking Scott M. Gibble lied about.
Yeah.
He said the Commonwealth knew of the CRM. I remember he said this in the first half of the season.
Yeah, and he never really exploited
He
it.
never got into it.
Well, there was like that little
Which
hint
that was
that people were
disappointing.
disappearing and stuff like that, but that was all there was to it.
But you found out why they were disappearing.
Yeah.
They were sent to the house by fucking Sebastian to get the money.
And then when it comes to the Whisperers basically were, this is humanity at its lowest point. I feel like that border wasn't just a border between them and our heroes here. It was a group. It was a line. These are where the living is.
2
On the
a.m.
other side is the dead, because the Whisperers were dead. They had no humanity left. They were literally the closest humans could get to, the dead they had been fighting for so long. That's exactly
They
what.
were more human in the show than they were in the comics.
Yeah, in the comics they were way worse. They
Way
raped
worse, yeah.
people. They were just like animals.
Just say the R word.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, come on now, it's YouTube. Don't.
But no,
They're not going to do nothing if it's for factual
it's,
reasons.
grape,
Oh, yeah.
grape. Is that,
Just say the R word.
all right, whatever. But no, so basically, I'm sorry. But no,
That's fine. I
Anyway.
mean, you were probably okay because of the way you interpreted it. It's probably
No, but, like,
fine,
yeah.
But just, going forward.
but yeah. So basically, what I'm saying is
that
that
goes
they
with the F word, too.
the whole basically the whole cult
Careful.
idea, the whole cult idea that the Whisperers were like once you hit that point with the Whisperers, because this is humanity at its lowest point. They were the most fucked up that humans could get. So when you hit that point, there's no lower you could go than the Whisperers, man.
Right.
When it comes to the story, there's really no more cooler ideas when it comes to this cult idea because
Yeah, it's 2 a.m., Luke. Just
the
wanna answer
Whisperers
your
were
question.
that lowest point in this fucked up world.
Right.
And that's kind of what the Whisperers represent. Robert Kirkman said it himself. He said the Whisperers represented, this is the most fucked up humanity has become.
And then the Commonwealth is the...
That's my Kansas City friend.
Yeah.
And then the Commonwealth
That's why
is
you
the
never met him.
top of humanity.
Because he's not in the same state as me.
Well,
That's why.
basically, the Commonwealth represented that the Commonwealth really represented basically the.
I thought it was old world versus the new.
Well, basically, what it was that it was kind of the full circle thing for Rick Grimes. That's why it didn't work in the show. And secondly, basically, what it was that it showed that that there's this place that was just like the old world, and it was because the whole purpose of The Walking Dead, or at least this is how the story would go for many years, was that it would go from it would get bigger and bigger as time went on. It started as a small camp in Atlanta, then to a farm, then to a prison, then to a community, then to multiple communities, and then finally to a civilization. When you get to that civilization point, there's really no bigger you can get. That would be logically and wouldn't take too much away from the apocalypse, right? So the Commonwealth was kind of what represented. This is the closest to the old world that you could get. And once you hit that point, there's really no more to progress in the story, because at this point you've reached the very point in the story where the old world's back. And now the whole point of the story now is to make sure that this new world that is being built doesn't make the same mistakes as the old world that initially led to its end. And that's how Rick's story is full circle, and how it's done so well is because Rick realizes that, oh my God, I was wrong. We are not the Walking Dead, and because of that,
one of the best final lines.
yeah, and so because of that, we need to make sure this is an example that, oh my God, we can actually go back to how things used to be, but we need to make sure that we don't make the same mistakes that they did.
The show messed up on that line too.
Yeah, we
had
need
it from Daryl.
Yeah, and it was so stupid because the whole purpose is that the Commonwealth represented the old world in their mistakes, because they're making the same mistakes that the old world were making, which was power, and not it was using corruptness and power and stuff like that. And basically, what I thought was so cool is that people might find it boring, but I think that it's so a good way to end it, because basically, it's showing that basically the Commonwealth is the old world rebuilding itself, and it's a new world that could come back from this apocalypse. And now the whole purpose is making sure it doesn't make the same mistakes.
It's slower in the books, but I prefer it in the books because it's a slow burn. Where in the show, it just went.
Yeah.
They're pretty much, you knew they were bad. Episode 1.
Yeah, and so the Commonwealth, basically, what Rick did was that he made sure the world didn't end again.
I guess he arrests Pamela and her
Yeah.
son.
Yeah, exactly, and
And
that's
then
why.
he lets her. Then he's so nice. He lets him out.
And also, the reason why Rick's death works so well is because people say, and this is why I disagree with Dan reviews who might be watching this, it's not in a disrespectful way, because if you really think about it, that was the most respectable way for Rick to die. First of all, people in history that were assassinated were great people. If you were assassinated by a little twerp, it means you did such a good job, because if someone killed you, the fact that Rick Grimes died because someone disagreed with his politics showed that that's how people are going to die now. We're so far progressed in the story that that's how people are going to die now.
I disagree with for his politics. Sebastian killed Rick because he took away his power.
Well, yeah, that too. But I'm just saying that basically, him dying like that showed that's how good of a job he did. He saved the world to where him dying in that way means that that's how people are going to die now. And, he saved the world. Him saving the world is shown in that because he was assassinated. He wasn't killed by getting, bit by a walker, being killed by a savage or, a cult. He was killed, in a place where he was so safe to where he was assassinated. And so that means he was actually successful. He did save the world. And so it wasn't a disrespectful way. It might seem like that, but in Robert Kirkman's defense, it's genius because it shows that this man who had gone through so much throughout the entire story, where he had been fighting savages, cults, and everything like that, trying to hold on to humanity as long as he could. In some ways, he lost his humanity a lot, but he always tried to keep the people he loved and the people who cared around him safe, And finally, he got to a point to where he was able to make the biggest difference possible, and him dying in that way showed that he was successful, because him dying in that way showed that he saved the world. He actually was able to stop the world from making the same mistakes that led to its initial end. And it showed in the time jump. Even though it was abrupt and kind of controversial, it showed that, Rick and what he did and what he had said was he became a martyr. He became a symbol to continue, and because of that, the world went back to normal. And
But not.
for the most part.
The shows, I think the spinoffs need to end pretty freaking soon. I doubt they're gonna end soon. Now they're talking about this fucking Australia spinoff.
Yeah.
They really need to do is end The Walking Dead now,
Yes.
and maybe in about 5 or 6 years, after that crossover, create ones with the kids.
I just think it should all. I mean, what I think they should do really is that
I mean, that'd be better, yeah. To give
That's
them a
better
break.
than these goddamn spinoffs.
yeah, I just think that
We're getting now.
I'm getting what I'm
I
getting
mean-
tired is that they think that.
I mean,
you know-
to be all about Rick, I would disagree. I'm sorry, I disagree with that.
Well, here's
I don't
what they
think it
really
all
should have
be
done.
About him. He's not bigger than the world. I don't think that.
Well, here's what they really should have
He's
done.
just one damn person.
Well, here's what they really should have done, and I said this multiple times past few months, is that The Walking Dead: The Ones Who Live should have been the last and only spinoff of The Walking Dead. It should have been like this. Daryl did not need to exist. Dead City did not need to exist. You could have Fear and keep that in there or whatever, but basically, The Ones Who Live, that title, wasn't just about Rick and Michonne. It was about everybody, and the final scene of the main show made that pretty darn clear. So, what the Ones Who Live should have been was it should have been a 16 episode finale season of the universe, and so you got everybody in there. It wasn't just the return and end of Rick and Michonne's characters; it was also the end of everything. You could get all the reunions you could ever want, and you get a final satisfying ending to the universe. You could even have Fear characters in there if you want.
Would 16 have been enough?
It would have been a lot better than The Ones Who Live, I'll tell you what.
It would have been. I'm saying better than 6. That's a given. I'm talking with all these crossovers. Would 16 still have been enough?
I'd say minimum, yeah.
Minimum, yeah, I agree, but
I mean,
I'm going closer to 24 myself.
well, I mean, I don't know. With the
Yeah.
grand scheme of the CRM, I could probably agree with you on that. I just think that with how they structure the main seasons, 16 probably what we would probably get. I'm just kind of thinking, more logical hypothetically, but
But the final season was 24.
24 and
Yeah, I know, and that's the whole thing about the thing is stupid about Angela Kang, who, and in retrospect, she's really not a good writer. But
I think she's a good writer.
She's
I
a
think
good
she's a
writer,
crap
it just-
showrunner.
yeah,
She's
I don't
a
think
good
she's a good
writer.
showrunner.
She's just not a ballsy person to kill off.
No,
people.
she's a sucky showrunner.
I'll tell you why. This was one of the cringiest moments with Maggie towards the end. Was that she had Maggie start crying about Herschel being missing. She walks a few feet, and she starts crying about Herschel again. And it made no sense because it's like, well, didn't we just have this whole conversation with Carol and they have it again?
Or season 11, I'll give another one. Negan versus Maggie. We've had that 2 years earlier in season 9.
Yeah.
For the first 5 episodes.
Yeah.
So she repeated storylines a lot, Angela Kang.
Yeah, but the thing that bothered me was that, well, here's the thing. I give her a lot of credit because she was given a heavy load to start. She had to write off Rick Grimes, Ricky Dicky Doodog Grimes, right at the start. And same thing with Maggie. And she did a pretty darn good job with Rick. Because if you actually look at it, the final 5 episodes of Rick Grimes was actually pretty good. If Rick would have actually died on that bridge, it would have actually been a pretty darn good way to end Rick's character. Because if you actually look at it, the whole point of Rick in season 9 was he's trying to bring everybody together and stop the fighting.
Which he did.
Which he did. Him sacrificing himself, similar to the comics, was he became a martyr. He became this symbol of peace and unity. And so because of that, everybody put down their pitchforks and actually started rebuilding. And so that was kind of the whole, I thought was actually pretty great for the end of Rick's character.
I think all of season 9 is a good season.
Yes. And so what I think also Angela King did a good job with was that basically she did a pretty darn good job. I keep saying that, I'm sorry. She did a pretty great job with reeling you in. After Rick leaves, you get the time jump, and then you have Judith showing up. I thought that was really a smart way to reel in the fans. It's like, yeah, Rick's gone, but look at this time jump. Look, Judith is older, And the way that they introduced the Whisperers was really creepy and really cool. And in some ways, you could say it was slightly better than the comics.
It was.
And
That was, I would say.
yeah, in a way, and also the what I thought was perfect was the Pike deaths. The music was so creepy. The whatever the music.
Even the Pike deaths are better in the show.
They're
than
more
in the
they're more
comics.
impactful, yeah.
Than in the comics.
Poor Walker Dead's Enid, but
And
Whatever.
then you got Henry. I mean, I thought they were making Henry the new Carl.
that's the thing that pissed me off though, was that they didn't have Carl, so they needed someone to fill his story. And then once his story was fulfilled in the show, they just killed him off.
You know, they killed off Tara. I thought that's a pretty big death.
Should have been someone that would die a long time ago. I was happy when she died.
I was too.
Because like, she didn't even fucking need to be on the show no more. She should have been a death in season 8 if you ask me.
I believe Rosita should have died earlier than she did in the show.
Well, yeah, no. I'll tell you right now. If Scott Gimple was still the showrunner, Gabriel would be dead already.
Yeah.
Because they teased the Tower of Death like 3 or 4 times.
They did in season 10. They fucking teased that shit
And
constantly.
season 11, but and season 11 with the Reapers, they teased that again.
Oh, yeah, they did.
With the Reapers, when he goes up to the tower and to attack that person, they did. So Gabriel would be dead if Scott Gimple was still around as showrunner. Aaron would have been dead, I'm sure. And I would say probably Rosita, yeah, too. Here's the thing about the difference between Scott Gimple and Angela Kang, and here's their own problems, was that Scott Gimple will kill too many people off sometimes in really controversial ways, like Sasha, for example. And Angela
Sasha's controversial. She died the same way as Holly dies in the comic.
Well,
I thought it fit her.
the whole suicide thing, I feel like, was just a little.
So that was not good. I'm talking the death in the coffin, like they did with
Yeah.
Holly. That stuff was
Yeah,
cool.
I just mean that the whole suicide thing, I think, was really controversial. But with Angela King, she wouldn't kill anybody off at all.
That's why I say she's a sucky showrunner.
Yeah.
You're on The Walking Dead.
That's what I'm saying.
You're on The Walking
That's where I think she is weak. I will agree. That she
It's
didn't kill
more
enough
than being
characters.
weak. You're on a show called Walking Dead. That's not just being weak. That's called you sucking as a showrunner.
Again, it's not understanding that people need to die. It's not your fan fiction.
Well, yeah, I agree with that.
You know,
You can't.
You need to kill a lot of people.
I think she can write. She was a good writer on the show.
yes,
But showrunner, she sucked.
yes, she did.
Other than season 9, I'll give you an. But the only reason you killed off Jesus, because Jesus wanted the actor said he was done with Walking Dead. It was never going to come back.
Yeah.
That's why you killed him off.
But like, if you ask me right now, just as a person that's like rewatched a lot of the seasons, I will put season 10 and 11 probably at the bottom of the list for me.
No, I can't disagree with you.
Season 10 is the worst season, if you ask me. It is that bad for me.
And 11 ain't far above.
Yeah, 11's not too far above. I would put season 7 and 8 above 10 and 11.
I agree.
I really would. Season 9 is like really close for me because
That's fair.
I think I would put season 9 maybe slightly above 7 and 8, maybe slightly above, because they really did do a good job with bringing in the Whispers. I think they did a good job of writing out Rick. They did a terrible job writing out Maggie. But
That's what I think everyone could agree with.
yeah,
Maggie, she did that ending was awful in season 9.
yes, exactly. Well, but with seasons 7 and 8, in retrospect, they're not really that bad of seasons. They're really not. I don't think season 8's the absolute disaster that everybody says it is. I think that if you look past Carl's death, it's really not that bad.
Season 8 to me is at best. I'll give it I think it's a mid-season.
Yes.
It's very mediocre,
Yes.
but it's season 10 is almost fucking like I remember watching that shit live and I was almost dozing off.
Yeah, I think my rating for like season 8 would be like a 7.
That's
7, and then season 7 would be like another like 7. But I feel like the difference between season 7 and 8 is that they're not in Walking Dead standards. They're not good seasons, but it depends on what you like. Do you like more drawn out season, or do you like more like action packed season? But they're mediocre at both aspects. So it's like, do you want a mediocre slow, or do you want a mediocre like action packed? And that'll determine which season you think is better or not.
I'm more into characters and writing than I am with action.
So you would say season 7.
I like season 7 a little more than
Okay.
8.
Then yeah.
I think
enough.
season 8, honestly, to me would have been better. You end the all-out war in the first half, and then you go to a new beginning.
See, I would disagree. The only reason why I would disagree with that is because I think that, on a marketing standpoint, I think All Out War is a full season thing.
Oh shit, because all-out war in the comics is fucking 3 volumes.
It's 2 volumes. All Out War Part 1, All Out War Part 2.
Oh yeah, it is too.
So it's like, I feel like, and Brian disagrees with me on this, but I say All Out War should be a full season no matter what because of marketing and also because it's 2 volumes. So, and I think that A New Beginning works better as the beginning of a new season because it's a new beginning. Not A New Beginning sounds better as the beginning of a season than the beginning of midway through the season. You know what I'm saying?
See, season 7, I think.
Well, I agree with that. Yeah.
And then everyone says their favorite season. Season
I still like
5.
season 7 and 8 though.
I think season 6 is the best season.
Oh, it is.
Because that's my favorite. That's my favorite comic storyline.
No Way Out?
No Way Out. In the comics is my favorite.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's
I actually think they did it better in the show.
I agree.
Even though I do love the comic storyline, I think that the show with them seeing it and then having this whole mission trying to lead them away and then having this crazy crap happen. But the way that they introduced Negan in the show was so damn genius. You know, seriously, with him appearing on the road, with the group appearing on the road, your property now belongs to Negan. I remember when I was sitting on my seat and I was jumping up and down because I knew he was coming, right? Like I was so happy, and I thought the lead up was pretty darn good. You know.
No, that's the best Walking Dead villain in the comics is Negan.
Yes.
It's a fact. In the comics, he's the best.
Yes. And that's the thing. I really miss that in The Walking Dead now because I just miss these really just well written storylines and well written moments that really aren't there anymore. Like a lot of these scenes that I watch now with The Walking Dead, it's just a lot of it's just kind of like yeah, that's cool, but it's not really like something that like hits you in the heart. Like man, you know, like
Or even the villain nods, like I've seen it before.
like they were trying to get us to really like care about the dynamic between Maggie and Herschel, and not once did I feel like it was kind of pulling on the heartstrings at all.
I didn't either.
Yeah, and that's something they would have done before, but they don't.
He acted like a straight bitch the entire season.
Yeah.
Even the end of last season, he was.
Yeah.
He's sitting there going, "You want to give me?" That's the fucking way how he fucking acts.
You know what's crazy is he's actually kind of right about that.
He is right, but
I was gonna say there was times I was agreeing with.
see, that's the Domino. The Domino was like Negan. No,
But I think the whole
Herschel.
point was to
I
not
care
like him.
about
I
you.
think that was the whole point, was to not like him.
Nope, there are people that like Herschel, but Herschel,
Well,
he acts different than he's somewhat different than he does in the comics.
those people are
In the
nuts.
comics, his mama, Herschel in the comics, Maggie fucking over coddles Herschel in the comics.
Yeah, and here's another thing that's stupid.
Constantly, she go.
The bear. The bear was so stupid. The thing with Shiva works because
Was that a zombie bear?
no, it wasn't a zombie bear. It was just a bear in the apocalypse. You're gonna tell me that of all places where there could have been a bear that showed up, they've been in the woods how many fucking times in The Walking Dead? They've been how many times in the fucking woods? And yet, the first time we see a fucking bear in The Walking Dead is in the fucking city where you would fucking think to ever, where is the last fucking place you'll ever think to see a fucking bear. That's the stupidest thing I've ever seen in my entire life. And on top of that, you're telling me Maggie's able to outmaneuver a fucking bear, like able to just do that. I mean,
And the CG was bad too.
the CGI was terrible. Like the thing with Shiva works because it makes sense. He was a zookeeper. He
I don't
rescued
think it
her.
was terrible. But
The CG.
no, I didn't think it was
I could
terrible.
tell that was a CG bear.
It was
there
terrible.
was definitely issues, but I didn't think it was that bad.
I think it looked. I thought the fucking baby and Squid Game looked better.
Damn reviews. There's zoos in New York. New York does.
Yeah, there is.
Well, of course. I'm just saying.
Well, you
I'm
gotta
just
put it in
saying-
the perspective of the shit's overrun, so no shit. There's gonna be
No,
animals.
but why is
Yeah.
there? But why did they not know of the bear being near that building
Well, that
Yeah,
I agree
how are
with.
they able to
That I
hou-
can agree.
How are
with.
they able to house a
See,
fucking
that I
bear?
will agree.
without knowing?
Yeah, without no.
CGI
Until
is
it's like,
bad, though. I mean,
how-
it's not amazing. I'm
How
not
many
saying
times
it's
have
great.
we?
I'm
How many times have we
I don't
been
think
in the?
it's terrible.
How many times we've been in the fucking woods, and yet the first time
It
we
could
see
be
a bear
better,
is in
I'll
a
agree with
city,
that,
which is
but I
the
didn't
last
think it
place
was
you ever
that
think to see a fucking bear.
See, I can accept a tiger because a tiger doesn't naturally live in the woods.
No, they're usually housed in zoos. You know.
No, but again, this shit's overrun. I mean, it doesn't.
You don't usually see bears in zoos. You really don't.
Can't, but I'm,
No,
that,
but I'm
that
just saying,
gets
but
me
if
the
it's
least. But how could you?
If it's overrun, though,
No, but how is that bear
It's
living
not.
right under that building and nobody knows? Oh, why is a lot of
That's more of what I agree
why
with.
is a lot
because
of our
that,
people missing? That doesn't
like
make
how?
any
Well,
sense.
no. When the bear was screaming, like, why didn't the fucking group get awake to fucking hear the damn
That
bear?
scene
You know,
just was
that part I will agree with. That they should have fucking heard the
And then
damn
that
thing. I
CGI.
will agree
Oh
with
yeah,
that.
but by the way,
The
we
bear being there, whatever. Who
are we
cares?
forgetting that
I mean,
Herschel was living in
the
an
shit's
elevator?
overrun, you know.
Are we also forgetting that Herschel was living in a working elevator
Yeah, and he never,
12 years into the fucking apocalypse?
Yeah,
How the
Right,
fuck
yeah,
does
see,
that
I
make
agree with
sense?
Dan on that one. I don't question where animals are in this world because everything is overran and things just happen and animals can be anywhere.
I know, but that
Facts. No, it's
Yeah, but-
100% facts.
no, that's more to him. I don't like how they don't know a fucking bear's in
Yeah.
that building. That's what really gets me.
That I agree with that argument.
So you're telling me you're telling me that you're not getting in the way the fact that we're the
No,
first
because-
time the first
Look
time
at
we
The Last of Us, for example. Same shit. It's fucking overrun. Everywhere you go is overrun.
I know.
Animals fucking going in random places and shit.
I think
they go there.
if you just saw the random bear just a pop up in a subway, you would probably say, "All right, that makes no fucking sense."
Yeah. And you're telling we've been in the wood. We've seen the woods how many times? And yet the first time we see a bear, is in the
I'm
city.
seeing deers and we're fucking living nowadays.
I know,
and
but-
I'm seeing deer that you would not even think that there would be a deer there.
I know,
And there's
but
fucking deer right there, and there's
No,
fucking
deer and a
living shit
bear
all
are two
over.
very different things.
Well,
Yeah.
no, but I'm just saying, I've been seeing a lot of random animals that usually would
You
not
will never
go
see a bear.
in those locations
If you see a
in
bear,
that
you're
spot.
fucking lucky.
if you see a bear in a city, you're lucky.
No, I'm not even saying in a city, even in the woods.
Yeah.
Bears hide.
Yeah.
They're not. Yeah, and the only time a bear will attack is if they see you're near the baby.
Yeah.
Maggie was nowhere near a baby,
Yeah.
and that
Oh,
bear was
yeah.
attacking her.
Yeah, and also the thing that I think it drives me nuts is that Herschel's living in a working elevator about almost 15 years in the apocalypse, and yet that elevator still
Yeah,
freaking works.
I thought it was closer to 20.
Yeah. How the fuck does that work? How can you
And
need-
that glass too.
in the glass?
No, I'm talking the glass where fucking Baggy and the Crow were crossing episode 7.
How the
Wow.
How the fuck does Crowette make it through just fine?
and that
Maggie
Maggie?
cousin.
Well,
That's another thing
well,
that
she
drove me
wasn't
nuts.
exactly being the
Why do we
smartest
need
in that
20 minutes
situation.
of why do we need 20 minutes of Maggie being claustrophobic? Not claustrophobic. Fear of heights. It's like why do we need to have that?
Well, see, I actually didn't
Everybody's
mind that
afraid
at
of
all.
heights, man. Like why do we need this whole thing of Maggie being
Not
afraid of
everybody
heights?
is.
It needed to be a big focus of the episode.
No, I think it's because she was overtired.
I know, but I just thought that was so stupid that it was like a big focus of the episode was that she was a fear of heights. I thought that was so stupid.
I think that glass bridge, that glass scene, it was dumb, and I can't quit laughing at it every time I would think of it.
and you also get the
She
lack
just
of
stands there when the fucking walkers are cracking the glass.
Yeah.
She's just standing
Well,
there.
yeah, I thought,
Another
yeah,
thing is like the
that
lack of
was
attention to
retarded.
detail. Like when you get the whole scene with Hillary Burton Morgan, you can see her gray hair underneath the wig, and yet she's supposed to be
Okay,
bald,
now you're
right?
nitpicking now.
No, that is valid.
She's supposed to be bald, and yet you can see Hillary Burton's gray hair underneath that purple wig, and it's so obvious too. You can see it clear as day right in front of your face.
It's not nitpicking when you have to.
Well, some of
They
the stuff
have
he's
to
kind
make
of
good
nitpicking.
shows. They have to make good shit. They cannot just do. See the glass.
You know you can
bridge-
just erase that with CGI easily, right?
But that budget on that show were so. That's another problem. AMC.
Maggie being afraid of heights is character development, so to me, I like that. Yeah, I didn't have. A
It's
problem.
unnecessary as hell.
I didn't have a problem with that.
I disagree
didn't.
with them on that, but her
have a
passing
problem
out
with it.
constantly on that glass bridge, ridiculous.
Well, yeah, her being clumsy on this shit, yes, but
Ridiculous.
It's like how about you don't look at the ground, just. I mean seriously, like
I don't think she was claustrophobic. I think it's because of her lack of
Well,
sleep.
not claustrophobic, fear heights.
well,
but
that's,
yeah.
that's what I'm saying. Well, yeah, her lack of sleep. That's why a lot of what was happening with her made sense because.
It didn't. But you're
No,
on
it
a
did,
glass
though.
bridge.
Well,
You see
no,
all
that
fucking
that
walkers
part
are
was
coming.
kind of. It
Oh,
was
yeah, I'm
dragged
gonna
out.
let
I will
sleep.
agree with it being
I
dragged
would
out.
have.
I'm not gonna lie on that. She was kind of being
drug
stupid.
and
Yeah.
let her
Yeah.
pass and let her go to
But
sleep.
but here's another thing that drives me nuts is that The Walking Dead's gotten to the point to where they're hurting for viewers that they keep doing this hallucination bullshit to bring back old actors because it brings people in. So they wanted to bring back Hillary Burton Morgan as a hallucination. When Negan literally, he's about to kill his kid Walker and somehow just trips and hits the back of his head and that makes him hallucinate. I mean,
yeah,
like,
they did the same thing on Daryl Dixon season 2.
yeah, it's like you get
Also,
back-to-back
Last
shows.
of Us season 2 is an embarrassment in comparison to Dead City season 2. Funny enough, I do think Dead City season 2 has flaws, but Last of Us makes it look nice.
Well, I'm saying if you see a flippin' bear in that subway in Last of Us season 2, I bet you a lot of people would fucking bitch.
Yeah.
Up a storm.
But my thing, the thing that drives me nuts
They'll
is that
accept it on Walking
we're getting to the
Dead.
points where, like,
No,
I think
wouldn't
that
care.
when it comes to
I
the
think
Walking,
you would.
I
The
would
Walking
not
Dead-
care.
If you saw a bear in the fucking subway in Seattle,
I would
then you
not
would
care.
never be in a subway.
Yeah.
You have there's areas you will not find animals.
no matter if it's the apocalypse or not, like,
Animals would leave the city if they left the zoo
Yeah.
to go to the woods.
you know, like the city would also be where mainly the walkers would be at. You really think the bear's gonna be around all the fucking walkers?
I can accept no. If I would have saw a bear in Central Park in Dead City, would have made more sense.
Yeah,
Because at least you're in a wooded area.
yeah. But I'm
Maybe
just
not
getting
in a
tired
subway,
of.
but maybe in the city itself. Yeah.
I'm just getting tired of them
Bring up the
doing this
subway.
hallucination crap because it puts
I
too
don't
much
have a problem with
supernatural stuff in The Walking Dead. Like them doing it here and there, like with Rick hallucinating Lori and Shane whenever he's attacking Woodbury, Daryl hallucinating Merle in season 2. It works, but it's not too much, you know. Well, in season 3 it might have been a little too much, but like
Okay, slightly agree.
yeah, but it works a lot
I
better.
started minding about
With
that
with
character.
with Daryl Dixon, Daryl has never seen what his grandfather looks like, and yet he's all of a sudden able to hallucinate what his grandfather looks like in full World War II uniform.
See, I think season 2 does it the worst
Yes.
with that flipping gas
Yeah.
area. That was just
Well, Isabel shows up and she disappears into stars. She just stars.
I hate season 2.
It's like what the
so
fuck was that?
bad.
And then her
I mean,
his-
I
his-
said it before. Dead City season 1 is better than 2 for me.
well, and then also his
That's
grandfather
fair.
shows up in full army
It's
uniform.
fair. I respect
And
that.
yet, he's never seen what his grandfather looks like. And yet, he's all of a sudden able to imagine exactly what he looks like, right? Like, in full uniform. It's like, how does that make sense?
See, the problem isn't that the fucking bear. It's that that was in Bruegel's area in
Yeah.
the middle of the city.
Yeah.
I don't know how you would not know the bear, because there would be very. Because I again, if in Central Park they saw that bear, I would have said, all right, that makes sense.
Yeah.
I would have, all right, this is cool.
Yeah, exactly.
But the bear wouldn't be attacking people either for no reason.
Well, and also how the bear was able to just.
Well, it was slightly injured.
I thought it was a little
It was
unrealistic that
slightly
the.
injured.
A
It
bear
wasn't just
naturally
perfectly
does.
normal. Though.
No, a bear
It
does
wasn't.
not. A bear does not normally just attack people
Yeah.
unless if it was fucking rabied up.
It could have been though.
It didn't. They don't show you.
No, you do see some shit on his side where it's not
But it
100%
wasn't white
clean.
freaking.
It wasn't like crazily severe, but I could tell that there was
Well, we have
fucking
when
bite
when an
and shit.
animal is rabied, it foams from the mouth. It's
Foams
very-
from the mouth. You would know a fucking bear has rabies.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I know that, but I don't. I think they were going for a different twist on that. I don't think they were.
But also,
necessarily going
you know,
for
if an
the
animal,
rabies
like for example, a
facts, but-
raccoon, like if you see a raccoon come out during the day,
I've seen.
it usually means that's rabied because but you
I
don't
mean,
see
based
raccoon
on
rabied.
entertainment, I've seen
Most
animals
animals
being
don't
having rabies.
just.
I've
Most
gotten the
animals
idea.
just don't attack you for no reason.
Yeah.
I mean, big animals do not attack a human for no reason.
Yeah.
They do not. That's very rare.
Now, if you take off running, then instincts kick in and then they chase after you and then they attack you. But if you just stand there and you're
No,
not,
that bear just friggin' Maggie was standing by that door and that bear was charging
yeah,
in Dead City.
yeah, and also the fact that this bear, Shiva wasn't able to squash the walkers, but this bear was just with the fucking. I understand they're deteriorating zombies.
He just kind of.
But no,
Bears are way bigger than
I know, but it's just I thought
tigers.
it was just kind of maybe that was a little more realistic. I just my thing is the way that Maggie
Yeah,
was.
they're
they're
being able to
stupid. I mean, they're
smash-
just fucking sitting there coming at them. You know what I mean? They're not really.
I mean, my thing is the thing that was stupid is that the bear wasn't just running after Maggie; it was just walking, like just trotting, and then
it knocked down. It fucking.
Well, I mean, she
damaged
wasn't
that
really
metal
running
door.
at that point. She was just kind of
Well, yeah, how
backing
the
up
hell is it?
slowly.
That's another one.
that's a giant solid thing of steel, and yet it's just able to just dent the crap out
They
of
just
it.
dent that door.
I understand bears are big, but I just don't see how that happens. Like,
Not how
that was
freaking-
probably a little unrealistic.
No, I think that whole seed, if the more I think about it, was pretty unrealistic.
well, yeah, no, that's the reason why, like, Dan here, he gave it such a low rating because it's stupid.
He
It's
said that
so
was one of the. I know I like some. I think it's an action scene. It's good, but if you put logic in that scene, it makes no sense.
Yeah, it makes no sense. And the thing
That's
about
why I don't think of it in that way. Really.
now, what I did like was the whole
Well, I should
gladiator
show this.
Walker
But
pit.
Walking Dead takes place in more of a realistic world.
Yes.
If it was a fucking superhero franchise, I'd be.
Yeah, and that's why I don't like them bringing in the whole variant and like tested walkers or the drugged up walkers because I don't. They're dead. They're not gonna run at you. Okay, that's just not gonna happen.
I'm better off with that but for these fucking animals, it's like you know what really gets me more upset is the reusing villain groups.
Yeah.
And slightly changing them.
Yes, that's exactly my whole point. Is that the Barazzi are just the saviors with the twist. The Power of the Living are just the saviors with the twist, or the Commonwealth.
More Commonwealth.
But I'm just
More
saying that
Commonwealth.
this is part of the reason why I praise Robert Kirkman because he doesn't reuse groups. Once he hits a point where the idea of this type of group hits its max, or like you get to a point to where anything else would just be repeating it.
It just gets boring.
It just gets boring. Yeah.
It's like the new Babylonians. It's the fucking Commonwealth and
Also,
Pioneers.
reusing footage in 208 of Dead City was bad, I think. I will say. Yeah.
Yeah, that's another one.
What was it?
The reusing of footage in Dead City
208.
season
Yeah.
208.
Yeah.
They-
That's fear level
I'll
shit.
These spin-offs, I'll tell you what they've been doing. They give us the
Well, they don't go as far, but
I think the word every season of these spin-offs has had hallucination scenes.
Yes.
Dead City isn't like the comics, though, bro. Bro.
Yeah, I know, but
Because there is no comics for Dead City.
yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, because the comics are better too.
I mean,
I mean, that's a fact. But
That's a fact.
I think like even if you say the comics are better than the show, I can agree with you.
Yeah, overall, and the ending too. I don't care what anybody says.
To a percent. I think there's some storylines better in the show than in the comics.
Very few, but I'd say the Terminus is better. I would say
Terminus is
Terminus
better
is
than the
better
show,
and No Way Out. Terminus and No Way Out, I think, are the two big ones for me.
And I think the introduction of the Saviors might have been a little better in the show.
Yes. Yeah. Probably. Yeah. Probably.
But not by much, though.
Well, but here's why, I really like the ending of the main show a lot when I first watched it. But going back, it's just a generic episode because the sad part is that why is it that -1 scene, the season 8 finale works better as a series finale than the actual series finales?
maybe the comics are better, but there's no Dead City comics, so it's hard to say.
Like literally, like
Fair.
you take away the Maggie scene, plotting against Rick, and it works as a series finale. Way better than 11/24.
So we're not talking about there's a Dead City comic, but
No.
But why does Walking Dead constantly when everyone, even I know a lot of people who never even read the comics, are saying why are they constantly reusing villains?
Yeah,
It's became obvious
yeah,
because there's no other villains they can do.
yeah,
They already had they had their end all,
yeah,
a group that was fucking ruling the world pretty much.
yeah.
CRM, and you ended them and.
See, that's the thing. That was the only thing that wasn't that was the last thing that was actually unique, and they decided to just be done away with it when they actually had this really cool idea. Even though I thought it was a little too much, it was actually pretty cool, and they set it up so well, and they just didn't really do that that well with it.
And it ruined a show. I didn't like the first season, but the second season got better.
Yeah,
Went beyond.
Yeah.
Now it's like because you were setting up Major General reveal, and you're like, okay, who's this guy? And then
Yeah,
you
reviews. I
freaking
will agree, though, I like the end of the comics better because the comics actually end. The show cliffhanger ended, so yes, the comics are.
Oh, so you changed your opinion? Okay.
No, he did say that. He's been saying that for a while.
Yeah.
Well, no, there's a video that I commented on about a month ago, or actually a few weeks ago, where he actually gave the ending of the show. He actually said the winner. He said he liked the ending of the show better, but this was shortly after he watched the finale, so I think he was kind of on that high. You know,
I think like even when I first watched the ending of the show, I thought, well, that was a good ending.
it was not.
But the more you think of that, it doesn't end.
No, it's this. It's like end of current storyline.
So some spinoffs.
Go watch the rest of. It's not even an ending. It's literally just end of current storyline, and then just go
and
watch.
And then on the Talking Dead after, they showed fucking previews for Dead City.
Yeah. That's the thing. The whole reason why they didn't know how to end it is because you don't have Rick anymore, and the whole reason why the book even ends is because Rick dies. Like, and that's the whole point. Because The Walking Dead is not. The Walking Dead. This right here is a story of Rick Grimes, man. That's literally what it is. It's a story of Rick Grimes, and how he tries to find.
11/24 as an episode, not as an ending though. There's a difference for me.
It's probably the best episode of a season 11. That's probably all I'll give it, honestly.
It is a good episode.
But like, dude, this right here, this is the story of Rick Grimes. This is the story of a man who woke up from a coma, trying to look for his family, and in process finds a newfound family and a group of people that he tries to protect, and then shortly after tries to bring back the world that had died. That is literally the story of The Walking Dead. It's the story of Rick Grimes. That's the main premise of The Walking Dead is Rick Grimes.
I think the problem I have with, I think my biggest problem is with AMC.
Yeah.
They're even doing it now with Interview with the Vampire. They're making everything a fucking franchise.
Yeah. Not everything needs to be a franchise, man. Why can't you just have a show that's just on its own? Because if you just think about it, a show existing on its own is just maybe better. You know, it's like
Better is over, I believe myself. I think everything now is fucking franchise.
Every franchise. It's like, you know, with Squid Game, I'm telling him, I don't even think you need to branch it out so much. Okay,
it's
you
a
get
franchise now.
You get maybe like,
now it is a franchise.
Yeah, now it is. But here's my thing: they can do it, but not
That's what it is.
but not so much. How about maybe 2 spinoffs? You get the Frontman spinoff that explains more of his background, and then you get the USA one, and then just be done with it. And that's all you need.
You know where I was at?
Well, I agree with that.
I was at no spinoffs.
Yeah, I was too.
You know why I'm at no spinoffs? How fucking interesting is it just constantly see people playing fucking childhood games where people dies?
Yeah.
Starting about the end of the season, the fucking shocks were not as shocking because I've already seen it before.
Yeah. But with this, it's just like my thing.
I mean, there's a few that didn't.
Another thing that was really stupid about 11/24, if you go back and watch, is that when Rosita falls, you can actually see the mat that she falls on.
I did.
And also, she just becomes a superhuman, and she's able to just like fucking push it like
she
10.
became like fucking Superman.
Yeah, she just pushes like 10 walkers to the side, you know, and everything. And it's
I
like,
didn't even know she was bit until after they
shows never end. These days, Squid Game would have stayed as its own, or should have stayed as its own thing. Excuse me.
See, I think even you can agree with this, Dan. Why is everything now have to be a franchise?
He said so himself in the video. I agree with that.
Like, The Walking Dead could have worked as a franchise, but the thing about it is that they don't understanding that certain characters need to end. Because at this point, it's just milking characters for no reason. And that's part of the reason why, like, I can't, you know, I don't like it. It is because it's not really good story anymore. It's just flashy. I can't even say nostalgia because none of it's, like, stuff that... Maybe a little nostalgia because you got old Negan, right? But, like, with me, I don't like it because it's rehashing old stuff. It's...
What? What? Ashley, what? What the...
What is it?
Tell your friends to say rip Michael Jackson and imagine if he was in Squid Game.
Okay.
This is a Walking Dead stream, not really a Squid Game stream.
Yeah.
Okay. That's a wicked ass.
But
all right.
That's the whole thing.
No,
is
I'm
I
not
just
gonna do that.
that's the whole thing. I just think that it's stupid. And one thing I will say about The Ones Who Live, when I was rewatching some scenes and I compared it to like old Rick Grimes before he left the show, that's not the same Rick, man. It's really not. A lot of the dialogue in The Ones Who Live with Rick just doesn't seem. It's just off. And I mean, he calls me crazy when I say that.
I do, and I still will.
But like, I just, if you go back and watch this, I'm telling you, go back and watch those scenes with Rick. I'm telling you, there's so much Gimple dialogue in there that it's like this isn't even the same Rick Grimes
The
anymore.
Gimple dialogue I will agree with.
You know,
Especially when it becomes a... It's...
Well, yeah, the love part.
Why did they make it an epic love story? That's
Yeah,
another
that part I
thing.
will agree
It makes
with
no
you on,
fucking sense.
But it not being Rick Grimes, no.
That's Rick's twin brother.
yeah, it almost feels that way. because a lot of the dialogue just doesn't feel like this is the Rick that we left off
I
with.
felt that in the finale.
Yeah,
I really felt in
Yeah.
the finale that this Rick is acting off.
yeah. Like, my thing is, too, is that, and this is why I'm talking about, like, you abandon story progression, because I understand that he's been trapped in a place where he can't escape, and I did like that initially you had him be suicidal. I thought that was a side of Rick Grimes that you never saw before. But what I didn't like is that you abandon the peaceful Rick that had been really well established in season 9,
Dan says.
and you just don't ever revisit
No,
it.
you know what I don't. You know, there's something I do not understand.
Yeah,
With the ones who live. How was he trapped there for 7 years when just only Michonne he can get right out?
yeah.
That did not make any sense.
Well, on top of that, how are they able to get out so easily?
That's what I mean.
Why is it that there's a shitload of explosives right next to the freaking?
Well, yeah, that was too convenient.
Why were there a shitload of
Now the
explosives?
7 years of him being trapped makes
Yeah.
no freaking sense with just Michonne. He can break right out.
Yeah. Why are there a shitload of explosives right next to a meeting?
Day Review says, nah, Rick and the Ones Who Live feels like his character. I can't agree. However, yes, Michonne did have moments that felt like her. I'll agree with that.
Yeah, that's the Michonne too.
I mean, I really like. I think the first
With
episode
Michonne,
Rick
I agree
was
with.
Rick.
With Rick, I disagree.
Well, here's the whole fact that Rick kind of
Sorry,
goes
I
back
It didn't
to
feel like a non.
because Rick and the Ones Who
Felt like
Live
Rick to me.
is just like it's like a downgrade because you kind of erase a lot of the story progression that turned him into like this peaceful Rick. And now he's back to just being season 7, season 8.
But they've done that to Morgan more than once as well.
Yes.
Okay, that's
Yes.
another thing.
Ashley Room was. Oh, sorry, I did not know this was a Deadwalker's reaction. And you know, Dan Walker's reminds me of 28 years later, the movie in theaters. What?
Someone might need to get a timeout.
Well, that's not an insult.
That's not an insult. I just don't know how the
He
heck you
hasn't
get.
seen 28 years later either. I haven't seen it yet either.
No,
I'm
neither
going
have I,
to,
but-
most likely.
Well, no, I mean, you're just saying it reminds me of somebody, but
28
that's-
Days Later is a great movie.
Yeah.
I don't.
28 Weeks Later.
It's one of the inspirations for The Walking Dead.
So you could
This
tell-
is not a reaction to any of that. It's just I don't know where you're getting the reference.
We're discussing Walking
I mean,
Dead.
that's what his name is, but that doesn't mean I don't get where you're referencing that to the movie. That doesn't make any sense to me. Just what?
See, I'm just
Thrown off.
very tired, and I think it's just zombie shows in general, because there's so many of them. I think the zombie genre is dying right now. They need to put it on hold for a few years. More than
Yeah.
a few years, like 10 years.
But here's another thing, right? So, what I really wanted to see was more of Rick first arriving and seeing more of that progression of him going from peaceful Rick to being more of a brutalized character again.
That first episode is fire.
Oh, it is, but what I think we need to see more of the progression of
Yeah,
him
it
going from
It is fun.
season 9 Rick to Once Live Rick,
That-
because when he starts out, I just think that from him just being this way, I think we need to see how he became more of that. Instead
That pilot should have been the whole season.
Right? Yeah, I agree with you.
well, I think that was the
100%.
first movie, honestly, that first episode.
That could have been the whole first season. Is just episode 1, and I think I would have loved it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would've
Slowly
loved it too. develop
it. And
It was like, and I would give that episode like almost a 10. It was that good.
I give it a 10.
I'll give it like a 9, but like yeah, I almost give it a 10, but
that
it's
episode 2 is good as well.
yeah,
The problem starts to me with about episode 4.
yeah. I just
With,
with
when the problems start.
with
101 of the Ones Who Live is the best Walking Dead in years, and I stand by that statement.
yes, yes,
I agree with
agreed for sure. We haven't had an episode that good since.
that.
Or before, and then even before, I think the last time before that was Rick's
905,
final episode.
Yeah, yep, 905. 905.
Yeah.
Yep. And even that episode had its problems.
I mean, and then even the premiere of Ones Who Live has
Very minimal.
small problems.
Yes.
Very minimal.
But all shows have problems. All episodes have problems.
Yeah.
Pretty
Yeah.
much.
There's very few
It's-
perfect Walking Dead episodes.
It's where you just say
I don't
it's
think
it's
there's
good
any
enough.
perfect
It's perfect
No,
enough.
I'd say No Way Out, No Sanctuary, Too Far Gone, and
I think the season 8 finale is almost perfect. Myself.
maybe. For me, it's No Way Out, Too Far Gone, and
What's the season 7 finale? Last week on Earth.
Dad, you notice a pattern here? It's Rick. Rick is what makes it S tier stuff.
Of course,
Yeah.
Rick's my man. Rick is the man.
Yeah, he's the homie, for sure.
I think Negan.
Number 3
Dead
for
City.
me, though.
I think Dead City could be great if they focus on new stuff,
Yeah.
but I don't think they will.
Yeah, I was hoping that it would actually explore more or like expand more and actually explore.
Actually, oh my god, I'm sorry if this is The Walking Dead. I'm sorry, I am so confused. I mean, yeah, read the title.
Do you speak English? Can you read English?
Read the title. The title says it all. Come on now.
Unless if that's an illegal.
Oh Jesus.
What?
Jesus Christ.
See,
We went there.
Dead City though.
Thanos, the Fork Lord. What up, my friend? Skirt.
Dead City though. I mean, honestly, I want original stuff now. Get rid of these past characters. Maybe do alright. Do the crossover event, but do it next year.
Yeah.
Or set up to it. Yeah.
I don't even think we.
That's the only thing that's gonna save this franchise is some kind of a crossover finale event. Honestly.
To the crossover finale event, and then if you do more Walking Dead, make it all original shit.
Yeah. What's wrong with it? That's the thing. That's how they know that they're gonna get views is that they can't make original shit because they tried that and it failed with Tales or whatever. Even though they could have done that way better, they need these old characters and these new shows to bring viewers.
I don't think Tales failed because of the new characters.
You know, it
It
failed because how
the
bad.
show fucking sucked.
Yeah, because it sucked. It was terrible.
World Beyond failed first season, and nobody gave season 2 a chance because the first season was fucking mid at best.
How about an idea like this? How about you make an anthology series about the origin of a lot of these iconic walkers that we saw throughout the show, like Winslow, the scavengers, Walker with all the spikes and shit. Winslow, like kind of how we saw in the Torn Apart webisode with the origin of the bicycle.
Or not even on walkers, or maybe original survivors every episode.
Yeah.
But focus each episode with a good beginning, middle, and an end.
Yeah.
It's not hard to do an anthology series.
No.
They make it seem like it's. Well, why did we need a fucking Groundhog Day episode in Tales?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fuck off. Seriously.
Stupid.
Yeah, reviews. That's why Dead City Season 1, I liked it. It felt fresh and new and high budget. Dead City Season 2 was old stuff and low budget.
Well, no, Daryl Dixon and Dead City suffer from the same thing. Is that the first season is like this cool, like, you get this cool new, theme and this cool new the scenery. And that's kind of what the whole big part of the first season is, that you're introduced to this new scenery.
I can only hold you so long for.
Yeah, but then season 2 is about the main part of the story, and then it sucks.
I don't think season 2 sucked for Dead City. I liked it. I give it a 9.
Or 10.
I've changed that the more I think about it.
Yeah.
I know I can shut my brain off when I'm watching it because it's at fucking 3 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
I watch it so goddamn early.
It just bothers me because I keep saying that the show shouldn't even exist in the first place, because they literally wrapped up the Negan and Maggie dynamic and story at the end of season 11. So it's like everything that happens after that is so stupid. Like literally, it was tied perfectly in a bow, wrapped up in a nice Christmas present.
Dead City.
And it was so stupid.
I mean, as much as you say that argument, I can agree in a lot of cases. But it just falls flat because that can be said about a lot of shit.
I say The Walking Dead should have been fucking.
That said a lot about a lot of shit. That's why it's like
Okay, imagine
whatever.
this.
Because you can say that's about all the fucking Dexter spinoffs. You know what I mean?
He does.
You say that a lot about all that other shit.
And I do as well.
Yeah, but I do, and so does he. The Dexter's making the same problem.
Right.
Is that they keep fucking up the endings.
Dexter Resurrection is coming back because this is their fucking third time.
Yeah,
They're trying to perfectly.
And so they literally, Dexter had one of the worst endings in TV history. It was on every list, like that. Dexter had one of the worst endings ever, and then they tried to fix it.
And the New Blood just made. And New Blood is New Blood's ending might be worse in season 8.
Yeah.
And so they fucked it up again. So hopefully third time's a charm. But then again,
this is gonna be multiple seasons.
Yeah, multiple seasons. So I don't think we're gonna get an actual ending to Resurrection.
I'm fine for not getting endings now.
Yeah.
with Dexter at this point.
Yeah.
But I'm a mad like the Trinity fucking spinoff. Why are we getting a Trinity prequel series? Why?
Yeah.
Next we're gonna get a fucking Miguel Prada prequel series. We'll be getting that next.
Yeah.
Then we'll be getting a Lydia spinoff prequel series with Lydia, that crazy bitch from 2.
But here's another thing. I call it the Breaking Bad formula because Breaking Bad is the only franchise that I think I've ever seen that actually has done everything right.
Is it considered a franchise?
Yeah, because you got a TV show, a spinoff, and a movie.
Well, I don't really consider it much of a franchise because it really doesn't do. Because Better Call Saul, you don't have to watch Better Call Saul to watch Breaking Bad.
You have to watch Breaking Bad and watch Better Call Saul. Because there's flash
You
forwards.
should, yeah.
There's flash forwards.
Yeah, especially that final season you did.
But I mean, you
Yeah.
still don't have to watch Better Call Saul, though.
It's
Well, Better Call Saul you don't have to watch Breaking Bad, but Breaking Bad, you, especially that final season, you gotta have to watch Breaking Bad to understand Better Call Saul.
Yeah.
Especially that
Well,
final
right.
well because it's
Right.
it's
But
in the past and
But
then
I mean,
you got-
I am saying you don't have to watch it, period. If
But
you
here's
just stick to
my
Breaking Bad
point
only.
though, is that Breaking Bad, Vince Gilligan, literally could have, with how popular. Because here's the thing, Breaking Bad wasn't as popular until about season 3, 4, and 5.
Netflix wanted him to go for 2 more seasons.
Yeah, and on top of that, what was even more crazy is that Breaking Bad almost got canceled, I think, in season 2.
It did.
Yeah,
Almost.
because they weren't getting the viewers.
The only reason it got saved was because of Netflix.
Yeah, exactly. So the reason why that it was so damn popular, the reason why that Vince Gilligan ended it, even though it was the most popular it had ever been in season 5, he said, no, because if I would continue, it wouldn't be as good. And so he ended it at the perfect time. And every show that I've watched, whether it be Sons of Anarchy, Supernatural, Walking Dead, anything that goes
Especially
beyond...
Supernatural. I mean, that is...
Yeah. Anything that goes past that season 5 or season 6 mark drops in quality. Or, people stop watching it every single time. And granted, it goes on for too long. But
Not
still...
always. I can give you, like, NCIS, but that's not a fucking serialized show.
Well,
Every
no,
episode does its
I'm
own
talking
thing.
about, like, dramas and character-driven shows more. Like not like crime shows, because that's, kind of a different,
Supernatural. I mean, around season 5.
Yeah.
That one is real. The Boys, honestly, I might disagree with you.
Because you don't like season 4.
Season 3. I think it should have ended at season 3.
Okay. But anyway, so, like, my thing is that, so, everything that happened with Breaking Bad was necessary for the story. So Better Call Saul.
6 seasons.
Yeah. And also on top of that, it was necessary because you needed to see the backstory for Saul. And it wasn't just the backstory for Saul, it was the backstory for Mike. It was the backstory for Gus and his hatred for Hector and how he built the lab. It was the backstory with everything really. It was the backstory to Breaking Bad. And it was also the sequel to what happened. It was also showed what happened to Saul after Breaking Bad. So Better Call Saul was very necessary, and it actually was something that was needed to expand on the universe of Breaking Bad.
And then El Camino is also important.
And then El Camino is very important because it ended the story of Jesse that was left on a cliffhanger at the end of Breaking Bad. So I call it the Breaking Bad formula because Breaking Bad did what The Walking Dead or really any franchise did, but they did it exactly how it was perfect. It wasn't too much and it wasn't too little. It was just the right amount of stuff to make a universe strong and connected very well.
The
And
Walking Dead getting 11 seasons, I think if they could have done it right, without killing Rick, maybe, imagine this, it ends with Rick coming back to the Alexandria.
yeah.
I think at least I would have said that's a good episode.
Dan Review says it is dragged out, but at least Dexter is trying to fix an ending that they failed, and they are trying to right the wrongs. Walking Dead is still on TV for money. There's a difference there. Walking Dead is just mindless entertainment these days.
I think Dexter's doing it somewhat for money as well.
No, it's because Michael C. Hogg can't get hired on anywhere else, so he just wants to continue playing Dexter.
I think it's the money. I think it is for money. I think
Well, it's definitely
Showtime's
because you got
is
a big
popular.
fan base there that
Dexter
keeps
is the
watching.
most popular show on Showtime's.
Yes.
I think everybody knows that.
Yes.
I think Clyde Phillips came back to fix his ending.
Yes.
I'm not dissing him. I'm thinking, why did Showtime's... I'm not even just bringing up Resurrection. I'm bringing up...
Terrible name, by the way.
Resurrection I'm alright with. I think they want to end that perfectly. But why are we getting a freaking Trinity prequel series?
Yeah.
We don't need it.
What? Are you on crack, Reed?
We don't need a Trinity prequel series.
Let's see what this dude is saying.
Ashley Ramos, I'm going to punch you, Mr. Hot. Mr. H. What? What? Damn reviews. What the fuck? What the? Why?
I think somebody's gonna go.
No, don't do it now. I really want to know why though. That's such an out of the.
No, I mean you've been saying weird shit all for a while. I'm gonna go,
Well, no, I mean the
I'll
other
put
one.
you
Whatever.
on a timeout. I'll put you on a timeout.
I kind of want to hear what she's gonna say after that. Actually, that's why I don't want you to do it right at the moment.
Well,
So don't. What? I actually kind of want to hear your reasoning. Why do you want to punch him? Like, what's the reasoning? I mean, what did he say?
no. Then after that, you're getting a timeout. So
I mean, I am. I'm curious on your reasoning. Like, what? Like, why do you want to punch
Well, I
him?
don't know,
What did he say?
Then
though?
maybe she needs to be timed out because she
Well,
said
no,
she
I-
wants to punch him.
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I mean, I just don't. I'm just trying to. I'm just like curious. Like,
I
what?
really don't
What
care
did he? What did he say that
Yeah,
makes
yeah,
you
yeah.
want to punch him? That's my curiosity. Like, I'm curious. Like, why do you want to? Like, what did he say to make you want to
Some
punch
days
him?
I want to punch him and him.
Yeah.
So, like,
Well, same with you.
Yeah.
I
Touche.
get it. I get it, but
That-
I ain't going on
it goes
fucking
both
jets,
ways.
But I'm not going on fucking jets, and I want to punch you.
Yeah.
No, I think what was that one stream where he was?
I mean, I'm sure there's some days you want to punch his ass.
No, him. No, I just said him.
Oh, you said. Oh.
Yeah.
I said you and him.
Yeah.
Oh, well, yeah, that could be the same for you.
I
Well,
figured
why
that out.
do you want to punch Mr. Heisenberg? That's my question.
So there's days I want to punch.
Oh, and
There's some days like when. Oh, what was it? It was something. Him.
I don't know.
Now, what was it with you? It was something. No, it was more.
we watch the Walking Dead franchise more.
I don't know. We all watch everything.
Yeah, I'm gonna time you out though, because you're not a good.
What? Oh my god! Yeah, just time it.
That's what I fucking was gonna do for 5
Well,
minutes.
I wanted it. I thought you were
I knew
gonna
you
give
weren't
me.
gonna get no fucking answer. This person's an idiot.
Okay, now you probably want to punch him more. He got you, idiot.
The shit-
Ashley, talk about the love here. Why you being honest? Well, I just don't know some of the shit you said before. Some of the shit you said before, I'm like, what the fuck? Like, listen, guys, the title was there for a reason. Please read the fucking title, please.
I mean, yeah,
I
you know,
feel like some people don't
I'm-
fucking read the title.
I'll
Read
tell
the
you what,
goddamn
who watches
title.
Walking Dead anymore? He does.
Yeah.
I do sometimes.
Yeah.
He does. I'll take a little, not as much as last one. So I took a fucking 3-episode break.
It took me a while to actually finish Dead City. I'm not gonna be honest with you.
Oh, that's good.
It actually took me a while. The last 2 episodes, it took me like 2 weeks to actually watch them.
You know, I don't mind. I like Dead City season 2. I give it like an 8 or a 9. Season 2. Now that I'm
This shit
thinking
is
of
funny
it.
as fuck.
I mean, they're like.
The stupidity is crazy, honestly, sometimes.
No, there was that freaking MCU stream. I forget what it was. It was on the stream. It was when you said on chat you didn't watch Guardians 3. I wanted to go where you live and just slightly
Bitch,
slap
you
you
slap
in the,
you right in the face.
slap you
I
in the
did-
back.
I
of the
did
head.
too.
Slap
I'm
you
gonna
back
lie.
of the head.
Because, like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Like, for real.
But when he says MCU's great and then he freaking didn't watch Guardians 3, I did when I first you didn't go see it in theaters. I wanted to drive there and just
Yeah, like, what the fuck?
and then kidnap him and put him
Why
in
didn't you see
theater.
that goddamn movie in theaters? Like, for real.
You know, I think that one.
I watched that when it came out on what was it, Disney Plus. Yeah.
I figured.
But what was your reasoning? Why didn't you see it?
I just didn't get around to it. I'm not a person that goes and watches a lot of movies in theaters. I really
Oh,
don't.
that makes sense.
Like I really don't.
Just when I first heard that, I just was like,
I don't really like
Being an
it.
MCU motherfucker, you seem to...
Well, not anymore. Not
That's right.
anymore.
now he's more. I've noticed he's been a lot more negative than he used to be.
No, because as soon as I watched Wakanda Forever, I said, "Fuck this goddamn universe."
What he did.
Wakanda Forever sucked ass so bad.
I know what really made me hate the MCU.
Anyway, gotta go get sleep, boys. Have a good one. All right, peace out.
The
man.
Marvels.
Appreciate you stopping in.
Marvel's that bad?
It was awful.
I didn't even see that
It was
one.
awful.
I didn't even look.
Really?
I didn't watch it at theaters. I saw it on fucking.
Is it really that bad?
I-
What? Oh, really? Okay.
I didn't even want to watch it on Disney Plus. I'm like, I ain't gonna support this.
It's really that bad?
It's awful.
It doesn't look good to me, so I didn't even bother to give it a chance.
Yeah,
I give it like.
It didn't even interest
I
me.
give
I'll
it
be
like
real
a
with you. I
2
saw
out
the
of
fucking
10.
trailer.
Really?
It's like a 2.
Oh my gosh.
I saw the damn trailer and I was like, it doesn't even look.
Like Miss Marvel's the only part. I'm like, she was alright.
Well, yeah, and they kind of confirmed that Captain Marvel might be lesbian or something.
I mean, she had that haircut in the Avengers Endgame.
Well, I think that she was actually dating Valkyrie, I think, or something.
It was heavily teased.
Yeah.
They didn't confirm nothing.
But then she like had a really like, she like had it really heavy on with Valkyrie.
Tessa Thompson.
Yeah.
And Tessa Thompson ain't even that good of an actress.
Yeah. But
I said it with my chest pumping. Zendaya's a great actress.
yeah,
I don't know why Zendaya gets a lot of hate.
she's a great actress.
She's good in Doom.
Yeah, very good at
Part
doing
2, especially Part 2.
But yeah, it's kind of a. But yeah, when it comes to The Walking Dead in general, I just like you say, I just want it to end. Really, I mean, you feel the same way?
Yeah, to a point I do.
Would agree.
I think franchises I think people who make franchises need to know at some point it needs to end.
Yeah, of course.
It cannot go on for fucking ever.
Yeah.
Doctor Who can go on close forever because that's a sci-fi, high octane.
Well, yeah, that's the thing. There's a difference between sci-fi, criminal shows, and character-driven drama. Stuff. Like I said, when it comes to a lot of the stuff like The Walking Dead, Dexter, and Breaking Bad, stuff like that, those type of stories do not need to go on forever. There needs to be more of an end point with those type of stories. And AMC just doesn't get it. They don't get it because
I can't just blame AMC. I blame Hollywood in general.
yeah,
They buy shit for the franchise, thinking it's gonna go on forever.
Mhm.
Not realize that there is an end point.
absolutely.
I mean, Marvel. I can accept Marvel and DC not ending for a long, long time, like 50 years, because you have so many source material to draw inspiration from. Walking Dead, you only have 192 issues.
193.
Yeah, 193.
Yeah.
And Invincible's even less, it's 144.
You know what?
Yeah, it's not so much I want it to end at the moment. It's more of I just want them to do the reunions with Morgan and Rick and Daryl.
Well, another
and
thing,
Rick,
it's like what I appreciate so much about Robert Kirkman is
all
that as
the
much
other
as I want him to do it,
I want the crossover, but then end it right there. But so, like,
right.
all right, I'll give you this. Give us Dead City Season 3 so we can wrap up that story. Give us Daryl Dixon Season 4 to wrap up the Spain shit. And then do the crossover.
yeah.
And then end.
Yeah, and then have them lead.
What I appreciate about Robert Kirkman,
that
as much as I
area.
want him to do it, what I actually respect him a lot about is that he's not. He could easily do this and make a lot of money or make some extra bucks. Is that he could start like a short run, like a 6-issue run that could it's continue like Negan Lives, which I really wanted that to be its own series, but it wasn't.
That was
or
just a one-off issue.
well, I thought it was going to be more than just a one-off, but it wasn't. And then, or like do a short run that takes place in between, I don't know, issue 192, 193. What I respect him about is that he's not doing it. He's letting the end just settle and just let that be the
The
end.
only thing is, he's doing it right now with Invincible. He brought it back.
Yeah,
With
because of the
Battle
popularity.
Beast, with Battle Beast.
Because of the popularity.
I know that's why he brought back Battle.
Yeah.
Why else is Battle Beast having his own fucking series?
Yeah, because it's the popularity of the show,
Even
and
though Battle Beast is one of my favorite characters.
well, and also he doesn't have a bad taste in his mouth from Invincible.
I love Invincible.
I do too.
I think the show it might end up being one of the most greatest adaptation of a comic book ever made. Invincible.
Well, I hope so, because it's gonna hit that. It's gonna hit past that 6-season mark. So.
Yeah, because you pretty much said 8.
Yeah. I think 7 would be enough. We'll see though.
Well, yeah, I mean,
You have 144 issues to adapt.
we're damn near issue 70 right now
Yeah.
on the show.
Well, I thought that well, isn't it issue 68 that Conquest escapes?
No, not 70. No, season 4 we're gonna get fucking. I think we might get Dinosaurus.
Appreciate the new subs. Thank you.
Or not Dinosaurus. I know we're getting fucking Thrag in season 4.
Yeah.
Apparently voiced by Andrew Lincoln.
Why you say that?
I've heard that one. I've heard that.
I would jizz my pants like soaking.
After Conquest was fucking voiced by JDM,
Yeah.
just so fucking Glenn fans got their revenge somewhat.
No, imagine this Negan kneels to Rick. That's why I want Andrew Lincoln to voice Thrag. But then again, I don't think it's going to be Andrew Lincoln because Andrew Lincoln literally said he doesn't want to play a character that goes on for a while.
Thrag is the main villain of Invincible.
Yeah.
He is the main villain.
A lot of people said Ryan Hurst. I feel like that would be too obvious.
JDM voicing Conquest was I didn't see it coming.
Neither did I. I thought it was going to be Jonathan Banks.
That's who I thought.
They tricked us. They fucking tricked us. They said Jonathan Banks. Everybody was saying Conquest, Conquest, Conquest. And they just tricked us.
And then freaking Aaron Paul as Powerplex. Character in the comics,
that was really good.
I do not like Powerplex.
Yeah.
He's a bitch. He's
Yeah.
such a he kills his own family and blames Invincible
Yeah.
for it. He's such a punk.
Yeah, I think Jeffrey D. Morgan, I thought that it wouldn't work because it's like, this is just Negan as a Viltrumite. But he just killed it, man. He played just such a great Conquest. He's supposed to be a sadistic freaking lunatic.
I like the scene where he's fucking crying, pretty much crying. I'm all
I am
alone.
so lonely.
What's up, Luke? Welcome back.
I don't even have a name.
Yeah, just
At least you're staying neutral.
So I think that's still one of my favorite lines in the whole fucking show.
yeah.
And then you got freaking Glenn beating the fuck out of it.
Yes.
See, so I was watching Walking Dead fans, and they're like, "Yeah, this is they're like, we're watching Invincible, because Glenn's gonna get his revenge."
Yeah.
Because it is. I was watching. I was like, "Come on, Glenn, hit him again." Because it was Glenn getting Stephen Young voices Invincible. It's
Yeah.
just GDM voices Conquest.
It's his
That's
yeah.
my favorite episode of Invincible. Is that Conquest one?
Yeah.
I even like
You're
Invincible
Army
more
Man.
in the show.
Wait, who?
Invincible Man in the show was fire.
Army Man.
I think that was better than in the
Okay.
comics. No,
Oh,
Omni-Man is a character from Invincible.
I know, but he's saying you're Army Man.
I'm being Omni-Man. See, Omni-Man's a great character, too.
Yeah.
Well, I'm just saying who you're referring to.
I'm just fucking...
Which one is Army Man? Oh.
Omni-Man, you could be, you could be Alan. You could be Alan.
Alan the Alien.
It's Ashley again. No, but okay. That's kind of funny. Oh, by the way, I'm sorry. The reason why I got a punch because he does the middle finger. Oh, because you flip off everybody in the
I
fucking
flipped the
thumbnail.
camera off.
You let me go like that. She must be offended by it. Or Ashley is offended.
Then why did you fucking click on the video?
Yeah.
When I say idiot, I kind of...
Yeah.
I kind of mean it. I didn't like that, but I'll click the video.
Yeah.
That's an interesting reason. Well, I mean... Oh, Dan did it again.
I don't think he's going to sleep anytime soon before he keeps coming on.
Dan, you might as well get your ass on the stream. That's fucking hysterical.
Yeah, now
Does she deserve another 5 minutes?
Should
We got 8 people.
Should we could call Dan? That'd be fun.
See, I don't do 5 minutes. If I have to time you out again, I'll give you 10 minutes.
Well, see, I'm okay with the other mods doing it for a bit. You know what I mean? Because they don't really get a lot of action. I'll be real with you. They don't really. So it's whatever.
Okay.
Hey Siri.
This stream keeping me up.
That's what I said.
Is it really keeping you awake? I mean, if you want to join, for real, I mean, you can join for a little bit
I said
anyway.
he's not sleeping. I said he's choosing not to sleep at this point.
It's hard to resist, Dad. I'm telling you it is, especially when you got discussions like these, man. I'm telling you what. And I kind of wanted you to get on, but obviously we were doing a little bit later, you know what I mean, than usual.
Yeah.
You know.
All right, Dan. I'm gonna say this too.
But we kind of can't control that because of everything, the way it's landing in the next, you know, with Sunday and everything like that.
After 5 minutes, if they keep doing it, up it to 10. And if you gotta do it that third time, just hire them.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
If you got 3, that's your. You don't get. It ain't.
Now we're up to 9 people. God damn.
Yeah,
man.
yeah, bro.
You get fucking
5
2.
likes,
You
appreciate
get
it.
2 strikes and you're out. That's how I think of it.
Appreciate you guys being awake at 3 a.m.
And I don't.
Devil's hour. Much respect. Obviously, depending on where you're watching, you could be watching it in
Yeah, I mean that's it. I mean,
California. You could be watching it in the other side of the world. But really,
what else do you like about Invincible though?
Well, I really like that. You know, it's faithfully adapting the book in a very good way. It's not, you know, doing stupid shit. It's not.
Luke, why does he stuck the middle finger at me anyway?
That's just what he does.
No. You don't need to do Luke. He's just asking. He's asking a question.
I'm not. I'm just reading what he said.
Oh, yeah.
If it was
Well,
asked,
give your legit reason why you stick the middle finger at.
I do that every fucking stream. It's like if you watch every stream I'm in, it's pretty consistent.
Yeah, every time.
It's a damn near every time. I think the only times is when I'm doing fucking Negan Bet, beating his head in once. Looked like I was beating his head in. And the Game of Thrones when I have the hammer.
Right.
Because I'm gonna smash somebody with it. Every other time I'm sticking the middle finger up. It's.
That's kind of why it's called Mr. Bitches in some aspects.
I just do it because I fucking like, because I'm having fun.
Well, that's what I'm saying. You know,
I don't fucking care.
that's I don't want to say that's kind of his characteries.
I just go like this to the camera.
He just that's his thing. That's what he likes to do. I don't think there's really much.
I don't do it to the pillow. I do it to the camera.
Yeah, to the camera. Yeah, I think it's just more of a thing he just enjoys doing. I don't think there's really much of a reason to it.
I just did it one time and I was like, fuck the camera.
To me, I think it fits his character. Him being, I'm Mr. Bitches. You know what I
I'm
mean?
Heisenberg.
Because I'm being a bitch. You know
No,
what
I'm
I mean?
Heisenberg.
And I don't give a fuck. You know
I'm
what
being
that's.
Heisenberg.
I think that's kind of the kind of the motive.
I'm a
that he
super
gives it.
villain like Heisenberg over here.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. Yeah. Because Mr. Heisenberg wouldn't give a fuck. Mr. Wall over there wouldn't give a fuck.
Yeah, I'm Walter White. I'll freaking.
Yours is a thumbs up. But yeah,
I give Tuco a fucking. I tried to freaking
Yeah.
Bryson Tuco.
It's kind of something sometimes I try to change it. You know, sometimes I might try to do different.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I don't really try to. It's just something I kind of just went with.
See,
What
I
did
still
you
look-
do? You did like that, right, or something like that, right? Or
Yeah,
yeah, you did that. So I mean, you know what I mean? It's just
Rockstar.
so it's just we kind of have our different ways of just
Oh my gosh.
so.
An Invincible character, I think the show did better than the comic was Rexplode.
Yeah.
I would, but nah, for real, I gotta get some sleep. If we can do one a bit earlier, I'd definitely be able to join the call. But yeah, it's slightly earlier. I would definitely join the call. That's fair. I mean,
They're probably gonna end it pretty soon anyway.
Yeah. I think we got pretty much all of everything out of our system. Maybe.
I have to keep it down for another 20 minutes. We're talking about other stuff. See, that's what half the fucking streams anyway. Just becomes something else.
Yeah.
Especially we gotta do fucking meeting.
I mean, how many seasons of Invincible do you think they actually need to do to actually really fully cover the?
I think they could do it in 7.
7? What would you say minimum?
7, 8.
Really? What do you think would be the maximum they could do? If they stretched it out, but it wouldn't be too much.
Like 10.
Really?
I mean, if they do
Did you mean to say owning it? I think I'm owning it because I'm Ami Man.
season 3 had more than one storyline that whole season.
Yes.
That had like 4.
Interesting, Luke.
Season 2, if every season was fucking season 2 that had 2 main storylines, then I could see 10. Because season 2 fucking dragged.
I definitely plan to check it out. React to it.
The worst season of Invincible so far is season 2.
I would like to finish some shows first before I do that, though.
Because it's so season 2 dragged.
Still a great season.
Still a better season than the
Well,
Walking
no, I
Dead
think-
given up personally.
No, I think the problem with season 2 is that they had the damn breaks. That kind of pissed everybody off, and that's why they didn't do that with season 3. They didn't have those.
I think another positive I give season 3 is it went back to more of a superhero series than
Yeah.
a serialized drama. That
Well,
season 2
I
was.
thought the Invincible War stuff was really cool. I really liked the stuff with Omni-Man and Alan the Alien,
That was a good episode.
and
I like this. I think my favorite though. I still.
If I had one, it would be this.
what I did like is that they started the
Brofist?
romance between Mark
Oh.
and Eve. I really like
okay.
that too.
I see what you're talking about. Okay.
Another one. I love the prison break episode.
Yeah.
Fucking, that was fire. The
Yeah.
dragon.
That's fair. I respect that.
Fucking, that was cool.
He would do this if he did his, like that. Showing off his, Luke.
Yeah.
Because you did this, he does that, I do this. Kind of, he would do that.
When I ain't changing mine. I'm going to go.
What? No, that suits you.
Dead City though. No, I did that to somebody at work. Someone at work fucking. I'll go like this. Like
John, a blog, put your socks down.
Oh, whatever.
Dead, but
Oh, Lord.
Invincible season 3 is
That one is whatever.
even season 2 is fucking better than what we're getting on Walking Dead right now.
Yeah, no kidding. No kidding.
I think the Walking Dead should end.
Of course.
Give me that crossover and then end.
Yeah, the thing that bothers me so much is that they set up stuff and they don't do anything with it. Like, you spend 2 seasons in France, and you set up the whole Cure stuff with the Primrose team and stuff like that at
But
the
you
end of
did
World
nothing with
Beyond. You bring back the guy that played Dr. Jenner,
Luke says,
and you don't do anything with it.
Tell Mr. Heisenberg, what do you think of the Invincible?
I already said I liked it.
Yeah. And then you have
There
the
you go.
stuff with
I think
Morgan.
Invincible War is better in the show than in the comic.
Yeah. And then you have the stuff with Morgan, where he says, this message is for Rick Grimes and stuff like that at the end of his story in Fear. And you don't do anything with that either. And that was right before The Ones Who Live.
It was.
Yeah.
It was a year.
Put one
Not a
sock
little
down.
less.
Yeah.
Okay,
So
John,
stuff
quit
with-
asking about the socks. Come on.
Do you want to get timed out there, John?
Quit. Just quit, That's all I'm gonna say. If you say it one more time, then you're probably gonna get timed out.
Oh, actually, didn't I say this before? If I hear any creepy stuff, I'm gonna ban people.
No, the socks one is whatever to me. I don't care about the socks one. I'm not gonna bitch at the socks one, okay? That's whatever.
That's a start of being creepy.
Thanos, we all gonna do one big call together. Let's lock arms and dance to the sun comes up. I'll bring my days. What?
Ecstasy, come on, my boys.
Oh, okay, that's an interesting. Okay.
Buddy, you want to talk about drugs? I might time you out too there, dude.
I don't think that has anything to do with drugs.
Ecstasy is a fucking drug.
Yeah, it is.
Is it? Oh.
Yeah, it is. Makes you all horny and shit.
Oh, never mind.
It gives you energy too.
Yeah, it does.
Never mind. Sorry, I don't.
It could probably.
That never. That literally. That's the first time in a long time since.
That's like a drug that fucking Diddy uses. Is ecstasy.
Nothing better than a Diddy
Where's
party.
your dog? Dog.
I'm gonna go time you out there, Thanos.
No, remember Miles? He used to ask weird questions.
Luke,
I'll give you a minute.
Devin.
where is your dog?
Remember Miles?
What dog are you
Yeah.
referring to? I mean, are you referring
He used
to
to
my
ask
sister's
weird
dogs?
questions.
Because, like, they can't come in here if that's what you're curious.
I just timed out Thanos because we cannot be bringing ecstasy on YouTube. You should know better.
He's trying to act like the guy from Squid Game. That's what he's trying
I know, but
Yeah.
this is YouTube.
Yeah. Gonna get us in trouble.
Oh, German Shepherd? That was gone a long time ago. That's not my dog.
Ecstasy, I mean, is
That's a blueberry.
you don't know anything. I mean, it could
Which-
make you fuck for about. You could probably
the dog
fuck
got,
somebody about non-stop for almost.
Which
A
the
day
dog
and a
got the dog got given to a different owner, so we don't even.
Yeah, you're never gonna see that fucking slut ever again.
Hey, time out. You can't say this. See how I'm teasing with them.
I'd say just try to keep it more not. You know what I mean? Watching what you say is what I'm saying. You know what I mean? Like.
I don't care. I mean, I kind of want to keep it. I mean, I don't even want to be like,
Well, I just.
because you fucking tried to fuck me over so many times. So
Well, I
it's
get that. In person, I don't care.
like, yeah.
You know what I mean? But don't
See,
do it
that's
on the
still-
camera. That's what I'm saying.
Dude,
Because they don't know everything 100%,
Yeah.
and there's a reason why I didn't share everything.
Yeah.
It's not none of
Yeah,
their
no.
business. That's why I'm saying
So I'll
don't.
say fat bitch.
Yeah.
You know, things like that is fine. You know what I mean?
Or like would be said, blueberry, the blueberry.
That's.
Or Augustus Blue.
Augustus.
Because that shit's funny. They can kind of get the idea of what the fuck we're
Or
talking
Mega
about.
Bitch too.
Yeah.
I say I can come up with something. I mean, she fucking thinks she's like mega buying.
Why can't you? Because they're not my dogs, Luke. They're my sister's dogs. That's why. She doesn't want them in here. She controls them. It's her dogs.
So I keep laughing at freaking.
Backyard, basement, part of kitchen. That's
I
it.
mean, look, it's none of your business either.
Yeah. Asking a little too much personal questions sometimes.
Not as bad as fucking Miles wanted to know where we live.
Yeah. I remember that too. I remember that mouse.
Can I have your address?
Yeah.
Yeah, like I said, yeah.
Yeah, I know where you
just,
live.
you know. I mean, I don't
You
really
know
care.
where
I don't
you
care
go,
where
you
they
can-
do go or where they can't go. I just
I
whatever.
didn't think
You know what I
you'd be
mean?
fu-
It's
like,
not.
Miles
It's
would
not my
fucking
dog,
show
so
up.
I don't give a shit. You know what I
Miles
mean?
would fucking show up and just go,
Hi, how are you?
I'm here to kidnap you.
Do you have a dog?
Yeah.
No, I don't. That should be pretty obvious by the streams. I don't have a dog. And if I do, it won't be for a long time.
Hello, dude. Why are you bringing up the German Shepherd? That dog's been gone for a year.
Yeah.
Yeah, you must have jumped to like some old shit that was, some old streams.
That dog used to shit in the. That dog used to shit and roll around and shit and stuff. Remember that?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, that's because fucking kept not.
No, it's because she left him in the
Well-
cage all day.
I'll tell you
That
what. I
was-
mean,
that's
it was
that
the
what that was.
what's his name that freaking didn't, you know what I mean, train him right. You know what I mean, in terms of leaving him in the cage when he did have to go. You know what I mean.
That's what she did too.
Well, yeah, she was bad in that too. They both were bad in that.
So you
know?
can't blame him. That's her dog.
Well, no, but I'm saying you didn't leave it in a good place in the first place.
Yeah.
Okay, why is it somebody else's job, and this is my opinion, to take care of somebody else's dog?
Yeah.
Well, if he agreed to help, that's a different story.
Exactly.
Maybe he didn't
Which
agree.
he did. No, from what I got, he did.
Well, that dog was loud though, dude. I remember I used to be watching the streams and you'd be sitting there yelling at him the entire time.
Shut.
Yeah.
I mean, it's the same thing with my sister and her husband. It's the same thing because they had a German Shepherd as well. You had one that was trying to stay consistent with the teaching, and the other one didn't. The other one didn't give a fuck. And that's the problem with the German Shepherd. You need to be consistent. You have to be with them because they need that.
No, okay, but the
You know what
difference
I
is
mean? They
they're
need that
the difference
training.
is they're married.
Well, I know, but I'm just
Compared to her
saying,
and
if you
him.
don't have the
That's
constant
not his
training.
dog. I'm not gonna take care of somebody else's dog.
Well, no, I get that, but.
I mean, it's like you.
But I'm just saying, if
her
you don't
dog,
have
okay, that's not
constant
your dog.
training and constant, you know what I mean, keeping up with the dog on things and what to do,
So
what
it's her
not to do,
fault, is what I'm getting at.
etc., then, well, yeah, she should have never got it in the first place, really.
Yeah.
I mean,
But
I mean, it's like
in
alright,
that situation,
it's like me and Deadwalker living in a house together. He has a dog. It ain't my job to take care of that dog.
Yeah, it's my responsibility.
Right.
My responsibility. You know, I might ask, and he might be kind enough to help me out, but it's not his responsibility. He has every right to say no because it's my dog and my responsibility. So it's my.
I mean, cats are a lot easier to take care of. I'll
Yeah.
say that at least. Or small dogs, like.
Yeah.
I mean, if you had a freaking small little Shih Tzu, I'd say, all right, maybe.
Shit.
Shih Tzu. Yeah.
That's a way to put it.
There's a lot of small dogs. I really don't care for small dogs either.
And yeah, neither do I. I got a big ass Cane Corso.
I don't really.
But
care
yes,
for
I
dogs,
mean with
though.
those kind of dogs, yeah, you do need to be consistent with
My
training.
dog-
If
small
you
dogs
don't,
need to
then
be trained,
it's
too.
gonna be chaos in hell for
It
sure.
was the same thing with the fucking cats.
Well, yeah, to a
She
degree.
bought these cats and then freaking did nothing with them.
Well,
She didn't even change the kitty litter.
I can bench 500 pounds.
Not doubt it.
your place. Okay,
She really
okay,
said
John,
that?
that was a little
She
bit.
said 600.
Your
What
place
was
is a
what was the conversation
pig's
Hmm?
What was the conversation like where she said that shit?
She
STY.
just
What
said
is
that.
that? What is it? STY. What is pig? STY. What is that?
Pigstein. So I think she's
Oh,
trying
is
to
that-
say.
is that what
Pigsty.
That's what I think she's trying
Sty.
to say.
Oh, I bet it stinks.
Or whatever.
What, you mean this place? No.
No.
Well, you want to.
You're calling this a pigsty? What?
No, I think the apartment is worse.
It's
Not
that
now.
bad.
Not now.
I was
When
gonna
she
say.
was there, it was fucking awful.
It was a pigsty.
Pretty much.
Really?
I mean, the kitty litter, like,
Well,
was right
yeah,
next to
now,
the fucking bathroom. Never was cleaned out. Her job was to do the kitty litter.
She never did it.
Never was clean.
But yeah, she would complain to YouTube but for not cleaning.
This shit I'm alright bringing it up just because I thought it was funny. See how bad it's.
No, but what was the conversation like where she started talking about she could bench 500 pounds?
600.
Yeah, where'd that come from?
I don't know.
Really?
It just came right. It just randomly came up.
Yeah, randomly.
Like she's just like, oh yeah, I can
I
bench.
think
600.
I think she was just flexing, like, oh, I can do this, I can do that, this and that.
Yeah.
I did this back in the day. I did that. Whatever.
I pushed some of the stuff
I think she forgot. I think she meant to say I weigh about 600 pounds.
That's probably true.
No,
I think that was her mistake.
Nah, this is.
Instead of saying she could bench 600 pounds, she weighed about 600 pounds.
She probably was like, I could be one of the worst.
I mean, if you're comparing it to be a pigsty because of certain things, I mean, but a lot of this we
this is
just
pretty
got.
fucking normal. This is pretty
Yeah,
fucking
this
normal.
is we got this stuff literally when we came back. So I
Yeah.
mean, this is food that we ate on
I
pretty
haven't
much on
even ate
stream.
some.
Well, some of it we ate off stream,
Yeah.
but you get the picture. It's not. We don't leave it like this. Is that what? Is that what you're? You know,
a true fucking pigsty?
why you do give it away? Because it needed a better place to stay.
You didn't give it away.
Well,
That
no,
was
I
not
did.
his dog.
No, I was kind of telling her to get rid of it.
Another thing she said she walked from,
I was telling her to get rid of it, but that was because he was fucking with my shit, and that was pissing me off.
oh really? What was he
He
doing?
was chewing on the fucking wires.
Fuck yeah, I would have been pissed off.
I was. I didn't even. You know what? It didn't even make any sense
You
to
know
me
why he
because
got rid of the cat too?
he was in the damn cage, and he still somehow was able to fucking chew the damn wires. That doesn't make any sense to me. I'm like,
Yeah.
how the fuck was he able to? Nah,
Well,
fuck
why did you
that.
bring
That's
up this
bullshit.
fucking dog from a year ago?
You
When
know.
we got rid of the cat like fucking 4.
Yeah.
Well, even the cat really didn't get in the.
And then
damn
she
that
talked.
much.
Remember, she used to say that she walked from. Well, I'm not gonna say the location, but she walked from here to there. It was like fucking how long? Like 3-mile walk.
Oh
like-
yeah.
Even long, like about an hour walk.
Yeah, from city to city.
Yeah.
This and
I
that.
doubt that.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
don't believe any of it.
Yeah.
I mean, there's certain
I
locations.
think it would show.
There's certain locations maybe you did, but
Mm,
I could buy a little bit more. But
I'm not. I cannot see her.
I
walking
said certain
fucking
ones.
3
I
miles.
said there's certain ones I could see.
I couldn't see her walking a mile.
Well, there was a few ones that she did, shockingly enough, but
You watched it.
kept it enough eye to it to watch it move. Yeah, that she was going slow, moving at snail pace. So that told me.
Oh,
that
so she
was
really
walking.
wasn't walking.
Yeah.
Well, like I said, certain locations. I didn't say like from long distances. You know what I mean? Like some of the distances, maybe 30-minute walk, hour walk, whatever. I mean, it's just shit from here
But was
to here.
it consistent though?
No, I don't think she was consistently doing it. No.
No, I'm not saying every day. I'm saying at that time, consistently walking.
To certain places, maybe, but
Then she'd walk 10 minutes ago.
Don't you take 2 steps?
No.
And then I feel bad for you because she probably smelled like I think you told me she smelled so bad.
This had a certain odor that was really.
Smelled like garlic.
I don't know if it was that.
She could keep vampires away.
I don't know if it was that, but it definitely was very offsetting.
Rotten fish.
Probably closer.
Because women that don't clean, that's what they usually smell like.
Maybe a certain way.
Yeah, that's what my brother's girlfriend smells like. But she doesn't, because she doesn't shower at all.
No, I mean, men, when we don't clean, we smell like fucking dirt.
Yeah.
I mean, I would know if you didn't shower, you would be smelling like dirt.
Or garlic. Yeah. B.O. But women, when they don't clean, they smell like rotten fish because down there,
And the meat, too, sometimes
Yeah.
rotten meat.
Yeah.
Little spoiled meat.
Yeah.
Yes, there was one girl
toilet
that worked
box.
for a couple days did not shower, and I was starting to smell. I was like, ugh.
Yeah.
To give you a whole situation on the apartment that I am staying at, I just don't think an animal is ideal to have in that place.
No, a small
really
animal is
just don't.
ideal.
I mean, but just with the situation, how things are kind of going, I don't think it's ideal.
I mean, like, I think if you got like a really small dog and a really small or a small cat,
Yeah, that would
is
be
ideal.
You know what
Is
I mean? It's
ideal.
more ideal. I just for
fucking
just
German Shepherd is not ideal in an apartment, and I fucking told her this. I said, do not bring that German Shepherd in the apartment. I said, it'll have no place to go.
right.
It can't walk around in an apartment.
There's not really any room.
My fucking cage took up half the fucking living room.
Yeah, a good portion of
To
it.
about half.
Sticked right out.
Yeah.
The-
Yeah, when I used to be on the phone with her and she used to talk to me, she told me some weird ass shit that's like,
She did too. She told me some weird shit.
what?
Too.
It's like,
Well, that's why I got pissed and everything like that when he was fucking chewing my wires and shit like that. And then she was giving me excuses. Well, it's just a puppy, this and that. I'm like, I don't give a fuck. I don't care.
it's affecting my shit,
You're right. Exactly. If you can't control your shit, then fucking it needs to go.
Like we got rid of
It's as
Karen
simple
because
as
she kept
that,
fucking
because
walking into
It's
my
out of
room.
that because you're replacing my
really?
shit.
I would
I'm not
open the
gonna
door for like maybe 10 seconds to walk out the door, and she would run right in.
You want kids? Not anytime soon. No.
She did.
Yeah.
I'll tell you that. I knew that. She kind of told me.
I mean, from what I understand, she can't.
Yeah.
From what I understand.
I mean, when she was fucking talking about adopting, I mean,
Oh, that one kid. Yeah, I remember that.
yeah. I mean, when there was fucking adoption, fucking.
When he was.
talk.
But that's not the same, though.
I know,
think
but when he
I
told me.
think she really does want, out of her own.
Well, yeah, that was at the point where, like, I knew what was going on, I just wasn't saying anything about it. You called me, you're like, yeah, we're adopting so and so, so I'm like, yeah, okay.
I knew it wasn't gonna happen.
Yeah.
No.
I
He's-
mean,
Yeah, I didn't really, I was skeptical on it. I didn't really see it truly happening, to be honest with you.
No, I just.
No, she
They
wanted
get
to get
5
her-
King
she wanted fucking
Carosos
marriage.
and live with them?
She wanted fucking marriage.
No, the thing that started scaring me is that, like, I was telling him in the car was that the fact that she was using that word within like 6 months is like that scared the hell out of me because it's like I've been running.
She told me by the end of this year,
Last year. Yeah, at the end
not
of
the end of
last
last year.
Well, the end of last year.
No, she said in the middle of last year that by the end of this year you would be married.
Yeah.
And that's why she wanted me and him out of the picture because we were fronts to her. She wanted you and you to herself entirely, bro.
To get rid of me, I mean, it was almost fucking impossible.
She was almost successful with me though. That's why I stopped talking.
Like
to her.
you were pretty almost successful.
Yeah.
Me,
I was out.
me, I don't think she was close at all.
Yeah.
That's because I'm pretty much number one to you, am I?
I would have fucking not.
Well,
No, I think.
No, what well with her is that because the thing is that
on the list because I know you did
because the stuff that I was going through at the time and how I was acting, she made it to where the stuff I was saying, I guess, in retrospect, at the time was, I guess, somewhat believable because I was kind of acting like a fuckhead.
I don't think it was believable. I think I was block views because I was getting tired of a couple stuff.
Yeah, and that's
Nothing with her though. It was nothing with her.
No, it was just a lot of how I was acting because of my own personal situation, what was going on. But it's like with her, she was doing things that would make it work. She amplified it. Yeah, like because I never said because like there's times where I'm sitting there, I don't say a word to her, and then I'm hearing from him or someone saying that I'm apparently harassing her or by texting her. I'm like, I'm not doing a damn thing like that. Like I'm not saying anything to her. Like what's she talking about? Like
Well, that's why I was very confused. That's why I wasn't really believing her either on that one.
Yeah, because of my birthday.
Even I saw it.
Because of my birthday thing, I had the whole birthday thing with the
beers.
Yeah, like the Deadpool thing. I was really annoyed because I'm like, you guys asked me to stop talking to y'all because of everything that was going on, and so I was doing that, and it was good like 3 days where I didn't talk to you guys, and all of a sudden I see this video, I'm just like, what? Like,
I didn't think the Deadpool one was really attacking. I did that more out of fun.
No, and that's the thing. I kind of viewed it as that, but I was a little annoyed because I was just kind of was like, I felt as if it kind of added on to the already like situation that was kind of.
I don't think I was truly done with you. I was more like just for a few minutes, just.
Yeah, no, and that's the thing is
I was more upset about the fucking Florida trip getting canceled than fucking anything.
Yeah, is that why you started hating her? Was because of that whole thing? The Florida trip being canceled.
That's a small part.
Yeah.
There's a lot of other reasons.
Yeah, but like I'm that's the thing is that it was I was hearing that she was saying that on my birthday morning I was texting her and annoying
I
her.
remember that.
She said that. What was she saying? Because I don't remember exactly.
I don't remember the full amount, but I remember that apparently you were harassing her on your birthday or something.
Yeah, I didn't do that. I did not do that. Put that on God.
I saw some of those text messages, and I was reading, I'm like, what the? I don't see him saying that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Some of them
I
were.
didn't see them. Yeah.
Where you apparently were calling her the C word.
Well, yeah, that was a whole different thing. That was before.
I know, but still, I mean.
Yeah, it just I don't know. It didn't feel. It felt off.
Well, that's the thing. It was almost as if she was writing it because, well, no, like if you actually watch that video of the live stream where she was explaining the things that I had said, she changed her story like 3 times.
Yeah, I've noticed it. I really knew stuff was off when the cars did not come. I was like, this is BS.
Well, you were a savage because you slept through the entire thing, didn't you?
I did. I had to work through them. I didn't take the day off. She told me to take the day off. I said, fuck no, I do it. I didn't believe it. Even when the cars were coming, I was like.
And what were you like when you were told that they didn't come?
It was like 20%. I believe it was real by then.
Yeah.
But after that, I was like, it's like 100.
Yeah. Yeah, it was.
Because it was the final straw. Nothing was going to come past that.
Yeah.
And they didn't come.
Yeah. And then after that, it was
and then
just.
the story I would hear, the doctors were like, we'll get there when we get there.
Yeah.
It was just like, what
Yeah.
the? And that story changed about 8 times.
But then on my birthday, she was sitting there after the video was posted. She was telling him that I was complaining and bitching to her about the video. When I didn't say a damn thing to any of y'all that day. But he called me on my birthday and said, hey man, I don't want you to think I'm completely an asshole. Happy birthday. And I mean, I'm sitting there getting ready to go inside of a concert and getting drunk as shit. And so I was just like, hey, yeah, cool, man. Have a good day, bye. So, like,
I knew some of the stuff. Just when is your birthday?
The 15th.
Oh, when?
August.
No.
Next month.
It was before September. I was gonna say if it was September, I would have. That's when I 100% knew she was a BS liar.
When did that come to fruition for you? What?
I'm not trying to look at you too.
Oh.
That was September 13th. After that, I knew.
Really?
I knew.
When she told you that whole fucking story? Oh my god.
And then the bank stuff when it was.
No, here's the thing. So when I was shown that fake pay stub, or the fake bank thing,
statement.
my mom's an accountant. I showed it to her. I said, "Mom, is this real?" She looked at it. She goes, "No, because this amount isn't shown anywhere on the entire lineup here. It's just right here, randomly plopped in the middle of the screen. And secondly, it's a different font. If you zoom in, it's a different font than everything else around it. So it was obviously like edited. And
You got shown more than I was.
Really?
I wasn't even shown a bank statement.
Well, it wasn't a big statement. It was just a screenshot of like like payments and
You know what I was. Every other day, I'm going to the bank. I'm going to the bank. Never even went.
Yeah, a lot of it got pushed.
Something happened this day. Something happened.
And then for you, like from what I understood, she would always she would go in the bank, she would go in and you wouldn't go in. You just stay outside or stay inside, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, in the car.
Or whatever. She'd be on the phone. She would have to leave the room.
Yeah, I knew sus. It was all around sus.
I just don't, and like I keep telling him, I don't understand what kind of mental illness you have to sit there and, for one, create a lot of these lists of fake vehicles, well, they're real locations, but locations, and then just, make a fake will and sign it, make these fake emails and then send it to you, to just add on to this fake lie that you were inheriting all this money. And so I never really understood why someone would go so far into this and waste so much time to do this crap. I just don't know how fucked in the head you can be to do that. I'll never understand how mental she can be to do that. I mean, seriously.
I'll never understand it either.
Because the list of vehicles and then the locations were like endless. It was like fucking at least 20 pages worth of shit. And then the will was like 10 pages.
Yeah.
And I'm like, how the fuck? How fucked? It was just so crazy. And it was all fake. It was all fake stuff. Like,
Ask them what a cane corso is.
it's just a big fucking dog, dude.
That's the thing, though.
Is that what that is?
Yeah, it's just a big dog.
Because all last year I was getting so flippin' excited for that Florida trip.
Yeah.
And it never ended up happening.
Yeah.
I'm going this year, but
You are?
I'm going on a cruise
Hell yeah,
in
brother.
December.
Hell yeah, brother.
And you
Hell
start
yeah.
about next year going, I'm like, at that point, it's like, whatever.
Yeah. Now, oh yeah, the Florida trip. She was gonna have you guys be picked up by a party bus.
Yeah.
I remember that.
I remember just by the, I didn't even want her to come.
Really?
Even when they were,
Well, it's not that I wanted to cancel. I just don't got money. I ain't gonna go
I'm
for
not
it
talking
anymore.
about that. I'm talking. Well, I mean, at first it was like just us three, and then eventually it was like, oh yeah, she's coming. I was like, what the fuck? I'm like,
And then-
why is she
and then-
coming?
And then because of the whole thing with me, you guys didn't want me to come, and so it's just gonna be you, him, and then Holly.
It really wasn't even. It was not that I didn't want you to come. It was that you kept saying you didn't want to go.
Yeah.
And then even by that point either, I didn't want to go either. I was to the
Yeah.
point there. I'm like, I didn't want to fucking go.
Yeah.
And by November, it was like, at that point, it was like, even if it was real, I still wasn't gonna go.
Yeah.
So I was just like, fuck it at that point.
Yeah.
Because I mean, by November, it's almost like, shit, we're not going.
Yeah.
I knew by fucking then, and she's sitting there telling me, yeah, we're going next month, you gotta take those days. I'm like, fuck no, I ain't taking those days off. They ain't paid, and I know it ain't real.
See, the fact that she knew it was all lying, yet she's still telling you to take those days off is stupid. You know she's living in a place that needs to be paid rent, and yet you're already planning on. I don't understand that. I really don't. Because that's gonna affect rent and money, and you're still. I don't.
And she didn't pay much of it.
Really? So it was just you and him paying shit. She didn't fucking do it.
Pretty much.
And Sly.
And by the end, but I'm talking, there was a good,
No.
like, 5 months where it was just me. And you.
Yeah, in the beginning, before Sly.
Yeah, it was like a good
just
5 months.
was
It was like a
him
good
and me.
5 months.
him and me the whole time, pretty much.
And he was only there about a good 2 months, a month and a half, 2 months before she left.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know what type of.
Well, yeah, and then she was bipolar because like I would sit there, she would 1 minute like because the one thing that kind of freaked me out with her was that I would sit there and talk to her. We'd have a great conversation about just dealing with trauma and problems and stuff like that. And then she turned around and started saying some fucked up shit to me. I'm like, what?
No, she did. She flipped right on a fucking dime.
Yeah. Because I'm just like, what are you doing? Like, because that's the thing is that, and I might have overreacted at the time, but I was just like completely like just kind of taken off guard because I'm like, why you fucking insult
It was
me?
the same thing. Like me and her are having a nice conversation. We would, and this is right when I was just meeting her. Then she would say something really just like, what the, about her family and all. What the fuck?
Yeah, like we were talking about, like dealing with trauma and dealing with hardships, and then I asked her just this one question. I said, hey, what was your impression of me whenever I came and met you inside the gas station? And she just flipped it. She started saying how I had a face only a mother could love and this and that.
I remember that.
And I'm just like, what?
I was there when that happened.
Yeah,
I was like,
you thought it was funny, and he did too. But
not that, but what was it that one?
Well, no, what you thought was funny was when she called me. She said I looked like a Gallagher. Which I'm like, well, that's kind of funny, but like she started saying like some really fucked up shit like that, and I'm just like, what, why are you saying this? Like we just had a great conversation, and why are you going being all hostile with me?
I think at the moment I might have found it funny, but I definitely
not the face a mother could love. I
don't know if I was.
I laughed when she said I'm more her type than you. I did that one. I did kind of laugh at.
Yeah.
See that stuff. I'm like, okay, that's.
But like,
not
yeah.
that
So
deep.
that's the thing is, I said, so why are you saying this? Like we were just having a great conversation, and then she started saying, she's like, you're so sensitive. I'm gonna tell you how it is. I'm like, well, that there's a difference between telling it how it is and just kind of being a bitch.
Yeah, so I was gonna say.
Like I don't like that. That's like you don't. You're basically saying, like, you really think it's necessary to tell someone they have a face only a mother could love? Like, I mean, that's. I mean, like I said, I'm not a sensitive person. I didn't really take it to heart too much, but it was just like, man, like what? We were just having a great conversation, then you want to get all hostile with me? Like, what the fuck?
I bet you there's some woman that finds you super attractive.
Yeah, I mean, there's plenty of fish in the sea.
That's what I'm saying, like.
But it doesn't. I don't really care about that. But
I'm the same way. I don't fucking care.
But no, it's just I like that's the thing. I think she like, I know she's like kind of bipolar, just kind of like.
It was I mean, just some of those
I
she would say. I mean, we would have sit there talking about something else, and then she'd bring up the money. I'm like, why the hell are we bringing up the money? Like,
It's like we don't want to talk about the money right now. Shit.
no, there was a good fucking. I think after July or June, I'm like, fucking, please quit talking about the money.
Yeah.
Every fucking conversation.
Yeah.
I think you could agree too, because even on text, I assume it was a lot on that.
Yeah. Because yeah, she would sit there and want to call me and talk to me like late at night and have long conversations, and we would just talk about like just random shit. But then like it always like steer towards the money at some point.
It did.
And it would just be like, I don't really want to talk about that. And that's why like I realized at one point, there was at one point where I just all of a sudden read right through her.
I read right through her, I think, fully, like I said, it was after the car situation. I never really believed it before. That was about a 20%. That's the highest I went to believe it.
Well, for me, this was a little bit like midway through learning about it. And all the stories that she had said before were pretty crazy and weird. With like, all that bounty hunter crap, which was stupid.
I don't know how you become a trillionaire being a bounty hunter.
Yeah, and so, but like, I kind of like, I feel like, I thought that Johnny like misheard something. He was just like repeating it, like telephone, But then she started saying all this wacky shit to me, like literally from her mouth on, and she told me the Vin Diesel and how the car thing.
Yeah.
That was ridiculous. And so through that and multiple other ways that she would talk to me, I read right through her. I've realized right then and there that for one, she made up the entire money thing, and secondly, she's a very sick and twisted woman that is a person that on the outside appears very kind and open and open-minded and just sweet, but inside she's a very selfish, mean girl that will do anything she can to get what she wants, meaning making up this fake lie to get Johnny to be invested in her, right? So that's what I realized that she was at that point, and it scared the hell out of me. And I didn't say anything about it to him because I didn't want to put my friendship with him in jeopardy. But I realized that, and it freaked me out. But I kept it to myself for a long time.
Yeah, when did you figure it out?
Probably midway through finding out about the money thing. I'll tell you what. It was actually whenever I got really cool with her, and she would call me 3 o'clock in the morning. We'd talk for 2 hours.
I think I said I was starting to figure. I was figuring it out that she really ain't as truthful about end of July, but August, that month right there is when I'm like.
But I'll tell you the exact moment. It was actually the exact moment that she told me the Vin Diesel story, because the way that she would describe it, it was like she was reading from a book. It wasn't like when you tell stories, you don't exactly go into exact detail, right?
No, she did.
But she did. That's weird. Because when you tell stories, you want to kind of sum it up and kind of do summary, right? But the way that she would be talking, it'd be like she was reading from a fan fiction. She would sit there and talk about and he turned around and he looked at him, or it's like
Vin Diesel tossed him the keys.
Yeah,
So
tossed him the keys.
Yeah, I was like, what the?
Then he turned around and he grabbed the keys and he looked at me and he smiled. It's like. It was
this is your car now.
Yeah,
that's what he pretty much. That's what she said. I was
Yeah.
like, what the?
It's like the way that she would be, repeating these stories. To me, it felt like she was.
So she said he bought that car from Vin Diesel for her.
Yeah. $2 billion. You don't just buy a car for $2 billion.
Especially for your.
No, it was more than that. It was fucking 20 billion.
But no, it was just.
It was like 10 or 20 billion. No, I think it was
Vin Diesel's car worth $20 billion.
It's not.
10 billion. I think it was 10 billion.
That's what she told me. And I was like, Vin Diesel's car ain't worth 10 billion.
It was between 10 and 20. It was around there.
10 million. 10 million. I can accept 10 million. The Dodge Charger that Vin Diesel drives. No, it's not a Dodge Charger. It's a. I think it is a Dodge.
I don't remember the exact. I don't remember the exact.
Car from Fast and Furious.
No, I'm not remembering the.
But yeah, like I said, I just.
Since I've seen that.
I would want Brian's car more than I want Dom's car.
Oh, that car's really nice. But when she told me that story, that was the moment I realized, oh man, she's making all this up. Because, like I said, the way she would just tell stories, it'd be like she's reading from a book. You don't do that when you're
I
telling
would tell the
stories.
story like that when I fucking met Zachary Levi.
Yeah. It's just,
fucking. Yeah, I met him at Comic-Con last year. I knew he was a conservative. I knew he was a Trump supporter then.
Yeah.
He didn't say nothing about being a Trump supporter, but just the way he would talk, he sounded like a Trump supporter.
Really?
He did. I was like, oh my god, he's either close to being a MAGA or he's a MAGA guy. Well, yeah, Trump supporter. I saw it. He talked about how he's scared of AI and. He was cool. I can't diss Zachary Levi. He's not as great of an actor as everybody says he is, but
Yeah.
he ain't a bad guy.
Yeah, and the thing that fucking was just so ridiculous was that I still had her on Snapchat, and I texted her when the whole thing went down, and Johnny told me the full, because I remember I was getting ready to almost just block him, block you, block her, and just kind of forget everything that happened, because I was just so done with it, because the whole situation had gotten so bad that I just kind of was like, okay, I'm just gonna step away for a little while. He'll probably figure it out eventually, which he's
I kind of was the same way.
Really?
I stopped even going to the apartment. I was staying at my grandparents' house for days.
Wow.
I just couldn't fucking deal with her. I was about to fucking snap.
Really?
Yeah, no,
But
he
yeah,
was.
so one day.
Oh, no, I would have. It became like fucking Trinity in there.
But yeah, so I was keeping them updated with my dad's whole situation because they cared about it. But I was mainly because I was trying to mainly focus on my dad's stuff, and that was already enough stress. I didn't need any more fucking stress, and that was adding onto it. So I just stopped talking to them, and then I would call them and update them about what was going on and everything, and then all of a sudden one day Johnny calls me, and he tells me what's going on and how this stuff's weird shit's happening, and I was like, oh my god, he's figuring it out. And then a few days later, I call him back, and he's like, yeah, we broke up because of this, and that, and the fourth. And and then he's like, yeah, she made the whole thing up. And I was just like,
I knew they were gonna break up about a week before, like maybe 2 weeks.
why?
He pretty much told me.
Really?
He's like, it's close. And then frickin' I come back home like 2 days later from my frickin' grandparents at like 6 o'clock at night was somewhere at odd reason. She was gone.
Really? Yeah, and
then that's the day she left.
and I texted. Here's the thing: I sent her a message. I shouldn't have.
Oh, this is a dooblo.
And that's the thing. What'd you say?
This is a dooblo. Lego dooblo.
But I texted her on Snapchat because I still had her on Snapchat. She ended up unadding me. I could have said a lot of fucked up shit to her, and I wanted to so bad.
Right.
But I said, and I quote, I said to her, I said, hey, so, I said, you get what you deserve. I said, you get what you deserve, but I just hope you use this to learn to become more accountable for your actions and do better going forward. That's what I said to her, basically. And she responded, she said, I'll tell you what, if you ever contact me or that, you or that cocksucker ever contact me ever again, I will contact the police. This is your only warning. I'm like,
what were the police gonna do?
I'm like, okay, yeah, I mean, you threatened the cops on me for texting you, but it's like, I'm not harassing you. I'm not fucking like, I sent you one damn message. You didn't even, I'm like, oh my god, okay. And then she blocked me.
It's probably for the best.
Yeah, but it's like, okay, well, you threatened the cops on me if I ever contacted you again, but then you blocked me, so it's like, whatever. But, yeah, and then I blocked her, but it was just stupid. Like,
yeah, I was probably, I just blocked her anyway. I just said, fuck that woman, and I just blocked her.
It was stupid.
See, honestly, what are the cops gonna do? I mean, for reading a text, like, that's not harassing anybody.
Yeah. Like, you asked me to stop texting you, I stopped texting you. I mean, yeah. You don't gotta say that I threatened the fucking cops on me. It's
I
like,
think
what the
the
hell?
funniest thing was when she threatened ever.
Really? When?
Like in January.
This January? Why?
Don't know.
Like to him?
No, she said me too, and I
What's up?
I deleted her ass in fucking December. That's why I knew she was full of. Yeah, I always just knew. I knew she was a BS person from the beginning.
That's stupid. Stupid.
I knew when she fucking. I just walked right in and I'm like, oh, she gone. I'm like, oh, okay. He was on the phone with his family too. I don't know, because me and his family were talking for a good while, for a good like 2 hours.
Really?
Yeah, we're just calling.
I bet they were super happy on the phone.
We're just we just heard me roasting. Here for a good 2 hours.
Yeah. She was
And then I go
bad.
back on a football game this next Saturday, the same week, and we're just roasting her again, watching football.
Yeah, another thing, like, what I really appreciated about his parents was that they were starting to figure out, or I didn't flat out ever tell them how
I
I
pretty
felt.
much knew when I knew too. It was like me and his family knew about the same time.
Well, yeah, but we never had that conversation, but his dad called me, and he's like, I don't want to see anything bad happen to you, Nate. You need to be careful about what you say or about Holly. You need to be careful about her. because this and that, blah blah blah. And I'm like, oh, okay. Like that's the thing. I really appreciated that with his parents because I think they were starting to figure out what was going on, and they wanted to warn me to I need to be careful with what I'm saying, and with her because she might do something.
You didn't really hear what they knew in July fully.
You do need to be careful what you're saying.
What?
Should have said her name. Dang it.
Oh.
Hello.
Yeah, whatever. I'm sorry, but anyways, what were you saying?
See, that's why I have issues with you on the channel. That is the reason why. Because he can watch what the frick he's saying. You just fucking blurt it right out.
I'll say your name too sometimes.
Yeah.
But that's, you know what I mean? That's what I'm saying.
I don't have an issue. I mean, she's been on the channel. I mean,
yeah.
Her name's been on the channel too.
Yeah, it has been. I'll just slip up here and there.
I'll say the name too on the channel just because I don't fucking care.
But
she tried to screw me over. My caring for her is to the floor.
Yeah. What were you saying about his parents in July?
Oh, they knew. They were telling me it's the same fucking story. It's like a chapter in the book.
Yeah, it's not a chapter yet.
They're like, yeah, here's a new fucking chapter. I was like, oh. I'm like, then she would get pissed.
I think you said, what is this, chapter number?
He said fucking 20? Chapter 27. Eventually. He said, no, I think it went up to 40 once, and I was laughing. And she was in the background in the kitchen just getting all pissed. It was just me laughing.
Did she get mad?
She did.
At him?
Really? I mean, that's why she said it lower in the amount.
Really?
Remember, it was about 50 billion. Then it went to 20. Then it went to 10 million. Forever. That is because you know everybody's being mean and nasty, especially his family getting mean. And I was like, pretty much I'm like, yeah, it was like, this is like.
The way you say it.
This is fucking November. You've been saying this shit since fucking June.
Yeah, no kidding.
Who's gonna believe you if it takes fucking 8 months or not even 8 months, fucking 5 months and nothing's happened?
But I'll tell you what, the thing that made me lose respect for her entirely was that when she started, whenever she tried to get his ass kicked by saying a lie and stuff, and bring her fucking family over to jump him, saying that, fucking, I mean, am I allowed to say that or no? About what they were telling them? What she was telling them?
Probably not. Maybe you don't care. I don't know.
It's fine.
I won't say it, but no, it just,
No,
yeah.
it's fine, whatever.
Too much abuse, but
Yeah, just
it's fucking awesome.
saying that he was fucking abusing her and stuff, and it's just they came there to fucking jump him, and fucking thankfully Mitch or Sly, but Sly was saying that you never did anything like that, and it was just stupid. Yeah. Stupid.
Well, that did piss. Stuff like that pisses me off.
Yeah, it's just.
I lost. Pretty much, I think I lose respect for somebody. I mean, telling a fucking very basic thing where people know you're lying. They create all this fucking fake shit. I mean, like I said, if I knew it was a lie and she said, oh, it was a lie the next day, I'd be a little more forgiving. But after fucking 10 months of it, I was like, fuck you. And she never even admitted to it. It's just so fucking obvious. But you're still sitting there talking about the money. Oh, the money's coming. Even each day, it's like, no, it ain't. It takes you almost a year and a half to get the money.
Yeah, she's still saying it today.
It's fucking sad. It's fucking funny too.
Yeah, but didn't you say that whenever you used to actually get mad at her, she'd go in the freaking bedroom, start crying like a damn puppy dog and shit?
Yeah, sometimes, yeah. Yeah, I was fucking. I wasn't even that close to her. I was out in the doorway. She was on the bed.
Or
on the other side of the bed, not closest to me. She was on her side of the bed.
No, you want to hear something really funny?
And she was looking my direction. And I was freaking
giving
her my frustration. I was letting out everybody's frustration, including mine.
Do you want to end the stream?
Yeah.
So you can start ready to take me home.
Yeah.
We can talk about the shit in the car. So we can really get into the details.
Okay.
Well, there you guys go.
Yeah. It's turning into something completely different.
It just became a fucking detail stream, some details we weren't even getting into.
No, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to like.
It ain't you. It was that fuck. You wanted to bring up the dog, and then I fucking started thinking of her, and then I'm.
Well, that's the dog he was referring to.
I know. Then I started fucking.
Well, there you go. You got a detailed version. So there you go. Hallelujah! Fucking.
No, it does. It's like.
Hit that like button and subscribe.
That's the problem. You mentioned.
Subscribe to Mr. Bitches.
I started fucking roasting because it's.
Yeah, well, we'll get into more detail in the car one.
That's why I said we'll get really fucking deep.
Yeah.
You got something to say, Mr. Heisenberg, Mr. Bitches, to end off in a great way?
Walking Dead needs to end in 2 years.
What?
2 years.
I wasn't even meaning that.
2027. Last year of Walking Dead.
I wasn't even meaning that, but okay.
How about her?
For sure.
Dust is good. Dust is good. She fucking